Football Monday, National Football Show. Appreciate everybody coming aboard. Thank you so much. And wow, what an absolutely iconic weekend in Philadelphia. Let me ask you this, and I know one's the Super Bowl and one's the NLCS. Okay, I get it. But do you put that Harper comment when he goes to the on-deck circle, he starts barking, let's give him something that they'll never forget? Do you put that in the Foles and Doug Peterson and you go like this? Hey, let's run the Philly special. Let's run the Philly special, man. Okay. That's got to be one of those moments, man. Listen, it was an NFL Sunday, and I'm watching that thing, and when he hit that home run, let's see. It's 1 minute in. It's 1 minute in. Thank you very much, Chalk It Up Sports. Thank you. Thank you very little. Brady's done? Really? You're already ready to cash in your chips on Tom Brady. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies, though, for beating the Padres 4-1 in the NLCS. And now we'll take on the Houston Astros. Astros are heavy favorites, but the Phillies were underdogs in pretty much every single series that they played in. I mean, they weren't supposed to beat the Cardinals. They seriously weren't supposed to beat the Padres. And no one's giving them a shot, in my opinion, to beat the Astros. They destroyed the Yankees. I mean, they absolutely destroyed the Yankees. And I got to tell you, man, congratulations to the Phillies. One of the absolutely most incredible stories I've ever seen, where an interim coach takes over and an interim manager guides a team all the way to the October Classic. That is absolutely incredible. Okay? Absolutely incredible. Appreciate everybody stepping in. Dominique, is that a Cowboy helmet? No, it all makes sense. Wait a minute. The owner and the Cowboys sent that to me. It only took you. Xander didn't think it would take you. Xander thought at least it would take, at least 3 minutes. You guys are barking at the helmet? Take that cowgirl's helmet down. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. Okay, look, I'm going to stop the show here, and I'm going to show you the helmet. Hang on. Let me get the helmet. So the Cowboys, when we had Steven on, goes like this to me. He goes, Sills, you don't have your Cowboy helmet. I said, yes, a couple of my helmets got stolen. So they went like this. Okay, well, let's send you one. It's a real legitimate helmet. See it right there, all that. It's not the proper face mask, but hey, it's all good. Hang on. Wait a minute. So the owner goes like this to Dan. Go Cowboys. By the way, my topic is around the Cowboys. Okay? Look at this. To Dan. Go Cowboys. Stephen Jones. Isn't that nice that the owner of the Dallas Cowboys would send Big Sills a Cowboys helmet? Now, do you think I should put it back up? Or do you think I should? But by the end of the program, I'll have a good sense if I should put it back up or not. Hey, just for your information, Xander was throwing up prior to me going on the air. He goes, I love you, Big Sills, but bro, no way. That can't happen. And I went like this. Oh, it's going to happen. But maybe what we should do is leave it up to you guys. What do you think? Wait a minute. The owner of the Dallas Cowboys, the CEO, Stephen Jones. Sills, we present you with a Dallas Cowboy helmet. You're a former player of ours. Here, son, it's yours. And I said, thank you very much. Thank you. I accept this, as a member of the Dallas Cowboys now. I'm part of the family, and, thank you guys. So, okay, get that shit out of here, Ryan. Put it in the wall behind the camera. Boo. People are throwing up. Use it as a bedpan. No, Sills. What about the 49ers, though? Well, wait, I had to stop the show because you guys complained about this legendary cowboy helmet. Barf. If I had a battery in the snow right now, okay. Wow. Fry some shrimp in that thing. Ew. Oh, wait a minute. Nausea? Nice trash can you got yourself there, says Dash. Smash it. Who cares? Wait a minute, man. So I'm going to put the helmet over here. Okay? And we'll figure it out by the end of the program if we put it back up on the wall or not. You're chickened out in seconds. I know. I didn't say I'm not going to put it back up. Xander, I chickened out. Look at that bad puppy. Look at that baby, man. You can't take the gauntlet of Philly. Oh, look at this, man. I would use that for my dog's water bowl. Burn the helmet, Sills. Sills is with the cowgirl's toilet seat. Where's the Eagles helmet? Drew, I didn't play in Philly. The guy's a troll, man. The guy's a troll. Dominique with his positivity here on a Monday. You know what I love about Dominique? Gives me a ton of shit, but he's here every day. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you, Dominique. You think I don't, but I do. The star of death. Cowboys are trash. Where's the Eagle merch? Effing clown. Because I played in Dallas? Is this just bad mojo, Sills? Hang on, I'm going to put this back. By the way, I got a cowboy topic. Got a cowboy topic. Please hit the like button. Yeah, I'm getting bad vibes. Why? Because the Cowboys CEO sent me my helmet because it was stolen. You guys are ridiculous. I might just put it up anyway. This is blasphemy. It's a hate-love, Sills. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. Hey, wait, that's right. Jason Peters has a cowboy helmet. Come on, Xander. Jason Peters has one. Yeah, he did win a Super Bowl, though. He did win a Super Bowl in Philly, though, didn't he? Yeah. Okay, he kind of gets a pass on that one, right? I'd rather see the wrestling leotard hanging up there than that stupid helmet. Have you tried it on? No. Big Sills don't put helmets on anymore, dog. I put crowns on. How you doing? NFL is shaping up, though, isn't it? Guys, I'm going to tell you something. The NFL is shaping up. Niners don't look that hot. Rams don't look that hot. Bucks and Packers. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know. It's really starting to really shape up here. And get this, the play of the quarterbacks. The play of the quarterbacks in the NFC has been atrocious. Dude, JM, maybe the story of the year at quarterback is Geno Smith in Seattle. Who would have ever thought in his right mind that Pete Carroll looks better right now than what Russell Wilson looks like in Denver? I know he wasn't active this past weekend, but it's been a train wreck for him in Denver. It's crazy. By the way, I'm not saying that Seattle's a good football team, but they are leading the West. How crazy is that? Crazy is that, man? I mean, the NFC right now has really only one team that can compete with the Eagles. Xander's calling Geno Smith, Geno Dimes. How about that thing going on in New York right now? Brian Dable's going to get the NFL Coach of the Year award. He's going to get the NFL Coach of the Year award. If they make the playoffs and get this, 3 teams come out of the NFC East, because you know you're only going to get 1 out of the South. You're going to potentially get 3 teams out of the NFC East. Okay? And Washington wins with Tyler Heineke over the weekend. Don't go to sleep on Tyler Heineke. They've got like a bunch of dog teams coming up too. And they're going to get Chase Young back. I don't know. I mean, all of a sudden the NFC East doesn't look like the NFC least. And there could be 3 teams come out of that baby. Not bad, man. And the team leading the charge is the Eagles. How about this now? There is one team, though, that you should be concerned about. They got Dak back. Dak is back. That defense can win the Super Bowl. That defense can. They can win the Super Bowl. That defense is good enough. The Cowboy defense is good. Okay? Dallas is our standard. Most fans, iconic owner. Samuel, thank you. Neil, whatever. Dak's back. GTFOH. Really? 91. Did you see Dak Prescott leading the charge for that Cowboy team with that defense? I can't wait to that game at AT&T. Holy cow. That game is going to be very interesting with Dak back. Prescott's back, baby. Dallas Cowboys defense is getting better and better and better every week. I mean, guys, Cowboys can beat you guys. It won't be Cooper Rush the intern any longer. You're going to have to contend with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Do the Cowboys win the East, or are the Eagles too far ahead now? Xander, will you smack him already? Hey, wait. By the way, Gary Cobb, bottom of the hour. Kurt Schilling, talking about the Phillies making it to the World Series in hour number 2 at 4:30 Eastern. How you doing? See this, man? That's a digital slap. Uh-huh. Look at the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys can win the East. Or are they too? I think the Cowboys can win the East. Or are they too far ahead? Now Sills is trolling us. Didn't you see Dallas, what they did? Dan Sills, Jimmy G lost again. Jimmy G will be all right, man. They lost to the Chiefs. You ain't beating the Chiefs. Well, wait a minute. You think the Eagles can beat the Chiefs? The Eagles can't beat 2 teams in the NFL, Chiefs and Bills. Don't go there. They have actual quarterbacks that throw the ball. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there. The team with the most intangibles will win. Poise versus posers. Says Forte, Mr. Sileo. Who are the losses? Sileo, the Lions beat themselves. East Camden, people always make excuses for losing. Try not to have that. Well, you know, the Lions, they fumbled the ball onto 1. That's what usually bad teams do. Oh, I forgot. That's right. The Eagles, they crowned themselves champions because after the first week, hey, that Lions team's pretty good. What are they, 1-6 now? Congratulations to you. They suck too. Dan Campbell won't make the year. Yeah, man. Dallas's defense did not look bad against the Lions. They did not. They did not. Dallas looked below average against Detroit. Plus 12 in turnovers. What are you talking about? The Cowboys, they suck. Lions don't suck. They're unlucky. Of course, another great excuse for losers. hey, man, we're the best 1-10 team in the league. Yeah, that's always my favorite. Hey, we're the greatest 1-10 team ever. Yeah, okay, guy. Whatever that means, you're still 1-10, and you suck. You suck. Here's the team you got to concern yourself with. To Dan. Look at that. How you doing? To Dan. Look at actual NFL. I mean, they look at that. What do you think of that? Got the thing on the back, too. Just look at that there. Here's the team you got to worry about. Dak's back. Now, they got to concern themselves with us. I think that's true, actually. Hey, okay? Jay, I actually think that's true, too. Personally, all kidding aside, I actually think that the Eagles have put a little bit of distance in this thing here. The Cowboy lost to the Buccaneers at the beginning of the year. I think that's going to come back to kill them. But I'm going to get into something else here I think you're going to really look at here and go, you're right. Watch this. I would have never, and I know you guys would have never have said this either. Gary Cobb, bottom of the hour, Fox 29. I know you guys would never have said this. Okay? Well, wait a minute. Steve says Dak will choke in the playoffs. But your boy hasn't done anything. Got annihilated. Okay? To you, what happened? Relax. Sills is an undercover Death Star. I don't root for the Cowboys. I never have, even when I played there. I don't root for the Cowboys. I don't root for teams. I don't really root for – I root for the Canes, and that's it. I don't really root for anybody. Okay? I like watching great football. Let me put this out there to you guys, though. I'm going to get to everything. Alexander, hang in there. Is Jalen Hurts playing the best football in the NFC? Playing better than Brady, Rodgers, Stafford? I mean, Garoppolo? Did you hear the names I'm talking about? Is Jalen Hurts playing better than Brady and Rodgers? I mean, would you have ever said that in Jalen Hurts' career? Jalen Hurts may not do anything that those players have done in his career. But I'll tell you something, on October 24th, Jalen Hurts is outplaying Brady, Rodgers, Stafford, Garoppolo, Cousins. There's not a quarterback in the NFC that's playing better than him. Some guys may have better numbers, like over in the AFC, but in the conference that matters to get you to the Super Bowl, I realized that before we went on the air here. Guys, Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC right now. He may not have like all the superstar numbers you see. Josh Allen and Burrow was insane yesterday. You may never see 450 yards passing from him. But I'll tell you something. He's playing the best football right now in the conference. I mean, Tom Brady was terrible. Aaron Rodgers was terrible. Stafford doesn't look like the same. Garoppolo was sacked in the end zone. I mean, look at JM. I don't know. Geno might be in the top 5 in playing football right now in the NFC. Everything like in 2017 is setting up for the Eagles right now. There's not a football. Dude, that Packer game, if I were the Green Bay Packers, that's going to be more of an important game for the Packers than it is for the Eagles. They may be undefeated by the time they get to that game against Green Bay and Lincoln Financial. And it won't matter because they'll have home field wrapped up. The Eagles are no longer playing for the East. I think the Eagles are actually playing for home field advantage to have the entire NFC playoffs go through Philly. Okay? I mean, guys, Jalen Hurts is playing the best ball of any quarterback in the NFC right now. He is. That could change over the next 3 weeks. But currently, right now, dude, Father Time, Greg, dude, I mean it's something with Mike Evans, too. His lack of effort out there, that looks like a culture issue in Tampa. It looks like a culture issue. That thing is unraveled. Get this, tonight, Chicago, New England, Bill Belichick has a sturdy ship. They may not be the same team that they were, obviously, years ago with Brady, but that thing's more sturdier than what they got going on in Tampa right now. That thing's unraveling. Look what happens when you give players like Brady or anybody power. Look at LeBron in Los Angeles. When you give them some sort of say when it comes to personnel, same with Brady. It usually never ends well. Hey, he won a Super Bowl. I'm not ever going to take that away, and it's awesome. Okay? I get it. But, dude, man, that thing in Tampa, I don't know. Could Atlanta win that thing? Brady needs Gronk? Jesus criminy. Are you trying to tell me the greatest quarterback in the history of the sport is reliant on one guy? Patrick Mahomes isn't. He's flourishing. By the way, kudos to Tua Tagovailoa. Way to go, dude. You didn't put up insane numbers. You got through the game and you won it and you stopped the bleeding in Miami. Kudos to you, dude. I was rooting for him last night. I was glad to see that. Glad to see that. Am I right, though, when I'm saying this? The best quarterback in the conference right now is Jalen Hurts. That's insane. Everything, I mean, I was expecting this. Usually, you know, you're not going to get the 49ers losing. The Bucks lose to Carolina. Carolina just fired their coach. Baker Mayfield's out. Sam Darnold's out. They got some stiff in there. Some stiff beat Tom Brady. The rookie quarterback from Pittsburgh the week before beat his ass. What's going on? Dude, this is shaping up for you guys. I'm telling you, you guys may have a shot to go undefeated. You absolutely may have a shot to go undefeated. I don't see a team on that schedule. Hey, and look at Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay, again, benching a quarterback. Matt Ryan is now benched. And the kid from Texas is now the starting quarterback. Owners being involved in player decisions never works out. Look what's going on in Indy. Jim Irsay's the problem. Wasn't Carson Wentz? What wasn't Matt Ryan? Chris Ballard, the GM, or Frank? It's the owner. Stay the hell out of the way, guy. Get out of the way. Damn. Brady's personal problems are getting to him physically and mentally. So what? Who cares? Suck it up. Suck it up, dude. Your team needs you. If you were worried about your personal problems, you shouldn't have come back in the first place. Holy cow. Unbelievable, man. Hey, look, we're going to take a quick time out here to try to straighten out the internet here, too, because we got JAKIB coming. I think it's coming back here. So hang on here, Xander. Let's see if this thing comes back all the way here. Let's hang in there. It's coming back here, too. Sorry about that, folks. You know, we're kind of slaves to that thing a bit. Hope Colts. Hey, I would not doubt if Nick Foles, why wouldn't they have gone with Nick Foles? That's why the owner's now involved in this. Okay? Dude, this is unbelievable how this NFC is shaping up here. It's really crazy how it's shaping up. Don't forget, Kurt Schilling. Okay? Xander said this. Wi-Fi went because of that cowboy helmet. Now, I'm going to show JAKIB this. I'm going to get JAKIB from Fox 29. And I got. Hey, so they made me take this thing off the wall here, JAKIB. Steven, look at this. See, Steven sent me a helmet because
I
didn't have my helmet, and I told him that it had gotten stolen. So Shelby and them sent me a cowboy helmet, and they went like this. Could you please take that toilet off the wall? And I was like, wait a minute here, man. This is the brand. Look at it. I mean, they made me take it off the wall, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, that brings a lot of emotion out here in Philadelphia, man. The whole area. I mean, the people get crazy. They start seeing that star. So, I know I played for the Star and everything, but I have to be cool up here. I don't want to be
Gary,
no fire or nothing,
Prior to you coming on.
Yeah.
So check this out. The Buccaneers and Brady lose to some dude I don't even know who the quarterback is in Carolina.
Wow.
Get this. The Rams aren't the same.
Yeah.
Green Bay loses to Washington.
Yes.
Is Jalen Hurts playing the best ball at quarterback in the NFC this year so far?
I think when you look at it, I mean, who do you have that really can say that they played better than he has? I mean, and I know that he's run with the ball. He scored 6 touchdowns himself. He's done what they needed to do to win. I mean, the guy has stood out just about every game, making plays. Because remember, there are some times where the offensive line broke down. He takes off. How many quarterbacks in the league could have taken off like he did? Make a guy miss, some of the runs he made down by the end zone. I mean, I'm not crazy about it because I don't want to see him get hurt. But come on, not everybody would have scored on those touchdowns he made. He made some great runs. He took some shots and got into the end zone. I mean, I got to give Jalen credit. I mean, hopefully he keeps playing like this. But, as for the most valuable player, because without Jalen Hurts, who knows? They're definitely not 6-0. I mean, they could be 3-3. I mean, for all that matters, because he's made plays for them when they needed it. If you look at the first game against the Lions, without Jalen, man, I can't say they're going to win that
Gary,
game.
I think if you look at the first 6-7 games so far, he's the MVP of the NFC.
I think he's the MVP of the NFC. You better believe it. That's what I see. And, I didn't come in, throwing roses at his feet, he's a great. No, hey, I can deny. I'm sitting there watching the game. I'm going, man, look, that was a sack by most quarterbacks. Now, Jalen gets out of there, and he's making throws. He's getting the ball out of his hands. He's played outstanding. And the thing about it is, this is the thing that comes out. He could play better, and this team could play better because. You look at the strengths on this team, that offensive line, they get healthy and everything. I mean, that offensive line can take over a game. I mean, they've shown they can do that. You look at the receivers. You got A.J. Brown. A lot of the guys don't even want to tackle the guy. A lot of corners. And so, he can beat them. He outmuscles them for the ball. So you got him, and then you got Devontae, Dallas Goedert. I mean, they got weapons. And the thing is, man, it's just going to come down to this, I think, for this team. They cannot lose that dog or whatever you want to call it, that fight. You got to be
the momentum.
They can't lose it, meaning they got to stay hungry and ornery because they are going to be in for some fights. I mean, I look down the road, when they see the Cowboys again, Cowboys got a good team.
And now Dak's back, dude. So
they get that back. Yeah.
We'll get to the Cowboys in a second here. Do you think the bye's at the right time, or would you have liked to seen that bye a little later in the year, like maybe after week 10?
You probably would. I don't know, because of their injuries, it's good to see them, get their line healthy, but you'd like to see it later. If you really think about it, you probably would like to see it later on, where you take your breath almost halfway through, and then boom, then you finish up. But they had it where they had it. They have got to stay hungry, meaning like they've got to be resilient. Meaning like whatever anybody throws up, you got to be ready to react to it and do what you got to do to win. That's what they got to do, because things going to happen. I mean, come on. In football, injuries are going to happen. It's not a matter of whether they're going to be injuries. There are going to be injuries. It's a matter of who's going to get hurt and how bad is it going to be. But you're going to have to be able to play through that. Now, they've already done that to an extent with their offensive line, where, look, don't start crying. Get somebody in there and get in there and do your job. That's the way it's got to be. You can't go, oh, man, because if you do that now, you lost. Now you beat, because you start feeling sorry for yourself. You don't have time to do that. And so they're going to have challenges through the season where other things are going to happen. But the thing they have is so many areas of their football team can take over the game. I mean, we saw the secondary do that. They've done that in a couple games where they're picking off passes, they're getting their hands on balls, they're locking down the other team's wideouts. They've shown they can do that. We saw the defensive line, and we need to hear from them some more. Where, hey, 6, 7 sacks, whatever, pressure on the quarterback, guys running for his life. That's what you got to be able to do that. And the linebackers have been outstanding. They play very well. Where you're making plays, who knows who's going to have to do it. They're going to need times where they're going to have to stand up and, of course, looking at the big stuff, you got to make plays when the games are on the line. And so far they've been able to do that, but they got a lot of tests ahead.
Speaking of that, and you mentioned Dak, I mean, now Prescott's back, they win. Not too impressively. I thought maybe Detroit dropped the ball on the goal line. I mean, they were just all over the place, plus a lot of injuries. Swift was not in, and I get that conversation too. However, that defense is really good, and it's getting better and better under Dan Quinn, and they're using Michael Parsons to the best of their ability, and he's really wreaking havoc. I mean, is this going to be a different-looking game when they play them again later in the year here?
Well, you could see with some of the makeup of some of the guys that the Cowboys have. They got guys on that defense, they're fighters, man. So, they're going to show up ready to play. They're not going to be intimidated. So, they're going to have to play well, as we saw in the game where that game got close. But this is what the whole rest of the season is going to be about. And I would imagine that Green Bay and Tampa Bay are going to wake up or something, or somebody's going to wake up. And then also the team that I didn't even take seriously, the Giants. I mean, I see Daniel Jones throw passes. You're going like, are you kidding me? Did you see that pass? I mean, it was nowhere near the receiver, but he can run, and they fight, man. They got a good defense. And Saquon Barkley, I wouldn't want to be out there one-on-one.
No, he's comeback player of the year. Gary, even Washington with Tyler Heineke, they're going to get Chase Young back. I mean, look, you're right. 3 teams might actually come out of the NFC East.
You could be right.
When it comes to the playoffs now.
You are right. And, I was thinking with Taylor Heineke, the thing about him is personality. The guy's a fighter. The guy is a fighter. He's competitive. And so that kind of spreads to the team. The team picks up that personality of that quarterback. And Taylor Heineke, say what you want about him or whatever, he's a fighter. So they're going to be scrappy. They're not going to be rolling over. So they're going to have their work cut out for them. They're going to have some challenges, but this is part of what they're going to have to do. And once you start getting where you haven't been defeated yet, what teams start doing? They start circling stuff on their schedule.
Oh, yeah.
When do we play those guys? Because we don't do anything else. We want to knock those guys off. And that's what the Eagles are going to have to deal with. They're going to get a lot of teams. They're going to get their best punch.
How about this, Gary? Do you think November 1st, you see how we make a move? I mean, I threw out there Brian Burns, 24 years of age, Carolina. Looks like Carolina doesn't want to move the kid. Hell, there's even reports that somebody offered 2 months for the guy. And I don't know why they would get rid of him. He's 24. He's a proven edge rusher.
Yeah.
But, you take the Washington game away, Gary. They're only on pace for just a couple more sacks than what they had a year ago. They're not really pressuring the quarterback.
That's right.
As they were a year ago. I mean, the Washington game kind of gives us a fool's gold on that. Do you think you could see him make a move by November 1?
Well, I could see him doing something. I think that's the way Howie thinks. He always wants to improve the team. And, And you're right. I mean, they have definitely not been, consistent with the pass rush. And that's why, you give so much credit to the defensive backfield in that they were able to, shut down the Cowboys, even though they weren't really putting a consistent pressure on. So I could see them making a move, because if you can get a young pass rusher, they are valuable, man, because they make your secondary better right away. Because you got guys get to the quarterback, and you need people coming off the corner. And they just have not been consistent. They have, you got that one game, you take that away, man. They're nowhere close.
It's been pretty suspect. I want to throw some names at you, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are now, coming off the bye. Howie's built this great football team this year. There's a lot of depth on the team.
Yep.
There's a lot of guys with one-year contracts. I'm going to throw a couple names at you. You tell me if you think they're back next year. Hargrave and Cox. Do you think they're back next year? And by the way, the reason I say this, you can start there.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to pay CJ, who I think's playing great ball,
you're
going to offer Bradbury. The market value is 17 and 17 for a cornerback and a cover corner. Eagles will probably try to label CJ a safety, which will be less, but he'll want more because he's a free agent at the end of this year. Are you going to pay $51 million and 3 defensive backs? So before we go into like those two guys up front, Slay 17, Bradbury 17, CJ 17. Boy, I'll tell you what, let's start from there and go up front. Do you think Hargrave and Fletcher are back? And do you agree with my assessment on those 3 guys and how we would want to bring them guys back?
I think that secondary is special. So I do think
I do too.
I think he's going to try to do that. I don't think those guys up front, I just don't see them being back. No, especially the money they're making. I don't see dominant
$30
football.
million tied up in them 2 dudes.
No way they can pay them. No way. And and they got some top picks. So you already know that, and some of the young kids, they might look at them and think, look at I haven't really, been closely watching, some of the youngsters that are backing them up, but I haven't seen it out of Fletcher and Hargrave, consistency, the kind of dominant play you want to see. So especially, the money they're making. I mean, they're making money like you got, when fever pass rush, and they don't have it. They haven't shown that yet. So
I don't really think Fletcher's played that well. I think he's played good.
I can't see him being back.
I thought he's played good in spurts, but I said you're not going to get Fletcher Cox 2017. All right, let me ask you this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which one do you want to bring back, Kaiser White or TJ Edwards?
Woo!
Because look at the money, right? Look at the money in the secondary.
Yeah.
Then we haven't even got to Hurts yet.
Yeah, I tell you, boy, when you think about that, I mean, I like Edwards. I mean, Edwards is just a good football player. He might not test where he's running on, 4-5, whatever. He's good. He's good pass coverage guy. He makes plays there. So I think I would have to say he's the most important guy. Now, so I would probably go with him. But, White, when it comes to pass coverage, he was a safety, and you can see it because he reads things very well. He reads routes, and before the quarterback knows, he's taking it away from him, and he's caused some big plays. So he is a very good player that they brought in, and then just being around all those guys going in the locker room. The great thing they did is they got guys that are mature. They're not here. They're here to have a good time winning. They're not here to just play around, whatever. No, they didn't bring in any guys like I guess CJ's got some of that, but he too. These guys are serious about football. All of them. I mean, you can see these guys are pros, meaning like they're studying. You see him in the locker room talking about, I'm walking by there, and I'm listening to him talking about what this guy's doing when he comes here. This guy comes in motion. Think about this. They're talking. And you can see you got mature guys there with White, Blackberry. I don't know if I've seen Blackberry maybe smile 3 times. Dude is football, man. And he's serious and very professional. And they're smart. And I can see the way they play. Smart players. And that's good for young players because they realize, look, this is not a hobby. It's not a hobby, kid. Serious. Be ready to play. Be ready to do your job on Sunday. And that permeates around the team. And that's why, they have been able to find different ways to win because they got that kind of atmosphere around the football team.
Hey, Gary, have you been happy or not happy with the play of Quarter Pounder Davis?
Oh, well, I've seen him coming on. I've seen good things, and I've seen things that weren't so good.
Hey, Gary,
I'm happy with what I see. I see him getting better.
The reason he's not on the field is because he's not in shape. Dude, 6 games in.
Yeah, come on.
We can't have a Zion Williamson here.
You're right.
Lay off the Happy Meals.
Yeah, I would like to see him out there more. But, I've seen him, be dominant because that's what the thing you want him to do is you want him to go out there and dominate while he's out there. So I have seen him coming on, but I want to see more. And I think he's capable of more. He's shown us, you see the potential there because the thing you do see is that at times you see him just dominate a center. They put him on the center. He just throw the guy around like a rag doll, He
does.
He
is a great player. Miles
got the capability.
Sanders.
Right.
Do they bring him back? He's on pace for 1430 right now, and he's been a silent assassin in the NFL when it comes to running the ball. Do you think Howie lets that guy, he's a free agent as soon as the year's over, you think they let him walk through the door?
I think they'll make him an offer, but I don't know that he's going to sign it. I don't know that they're able to keep him because I don't know how much money they're going to be willing to pay the running back position because you can't pay everybody.
No.
And I don't.
We haven't even got to what they're going to do with Jalen in the offseason.
That's why I don't see how you could pay you can't pay a running back because you're invested in that line. You got to have offensive linemen. You can't play around there. But if you have quality offensive linemen and you got a quality quarterback, you can't pay your running back. You can't afford to pay the running back. Running back is going to benefit from that line in front of him. But I don't know they're going to be able to pay Miles. And I think Miles was going to get paid because he keeps playing like he's playing. He is going to have big numbers. And the kid is talented. I mean,
absolutely. Durability has been his only issue.
That's right.
Finally here, for you, you mentioned offensive line is going to be essential here.
Yep.
Do you think they let Andre Dillard and Isaac Seumalo walk out the door? Or do you think that they tried to do something? Because as we know, Gary, I know that you've seen this because I talked to Barrett about this last week. Mm-hmm. I've never seen more bad offensive line play in my life in the NFL than this year. Yeah, it is terrible across the league, and the Eagles are the premier place to get your graduate students from University of Stoutland. I mean, this guy's put this thing together, and he's got depth. Yep. Do you think the Eagles will rely on Jeff to find more guys and replace? Or do you think that they keep these guys somehow because they'll be hot assets on the open market?
I don't see how they can keep all of them.
Yeah,
I think they're going to have to let some of them walk because and knowing that he's there and knowing that they, you know how they lean on a guy if they see the ability that he can take guys and mold them into players and so I think that they will let some of those guys, they're going to walk, because I think they'll get good offers from other places. And the Eagles, they just cannot. They can't sign all these guys.
Dude,
they
look
got
how
so
many
guys.
Gary,
They can't
look at the team. Look how many new faces.
I know
could potentially be on this football team next year.
Yep.
When we're talking about all these free agents, and hey, one more though with Jalen. Now they get a chance to address it. If you're looking at how you're going to structure a deal and where you're going to come in around. I mean, to me, he's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. You're never going to see 475 yards passing out of this guy. You're just not. What's the metric if you're Howie and the owner? Because you don't want to insult the guy. He is represented by Clutch Sports too. That's Maverick right. Carter and them guys.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What do you look at when you see Jalen Hurts? Do you see $45 million a year? I don't.
I don't necessarily see that. He has been very important to this team.
Totally.
When you talk MVP and things, I mean,
Yes.
so they've got to talk to him and, they're going to have to do a good job working it out and he's going to have to be wanting to be here. But I don't see 45.
When you give him working like up to this 40. More guaranteed, Gary, like instead of 45 million over 5, where 120 is guaranteed, you come to him and you go, here's 100 million over 3. And in today's NFL, I'd want short-term deals because the market's going to change like the interest rate changes. And can you imagine a kid at 27 working on his second deal? And if he happens to live up to it, dude, there's going to be an open checkbook for the kid.
Well, the thing that really is, if he wants to go hardcore, he could go hardcore. I mean, I hope that's not what it gets into. And I hope that he steps in and says, hey, man, I want to be here. I want to be here. So I would even, give these guys somewhat of a discount. But if he would go hardcore, boy, I tell you, it would really be tough. It would really be tough because they cannot let him walk. The way because they see the way his work habits are and everything. Kid's just going to get better and better and better because he's seeing the field quicker and things, because that's really, I think, the most important part when it comes to quarterbacking is to see. You can see what these guys are in. Immediately you look up, you see the coverage. You're able to recognize it very quickly. You see him getting better and better at that because as time goes on, he's not going to be running as much. He's going to run less and throw more. But I hope it's all going to come down to the attitude. If he lets his guys run things and they are just solely trying to get the biggest dollar he can, you could see them going and say, we got to at least get 40 or 45. They could do that. They could have that attitude. And
Absolutely.
then the Eagles are going to be hey, the Eagles really, come on. They can't let him walk.
No. They've built the team. There's no question they've built the team around him. Gary, you were a great ball player, too, in baseball. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you what you thought of the Phillies taking on the Astros now in the World Series, man. I'll tell you something. That Bryce Harper, man, there you go. Hey.
Yeah,
hey,
I mean, I couldn't help it, man. You just, the way these guys have played, man, there's a confidence and a focus that they're playing with. And, every game, you see the way they come out right away and they jump, offensively, the way they're swinging the bats and the focus. That's the thing is, you got to be able to concentrate. And they definitely have taken things up because as the season went along, at times you get frustrated looking at them and how they would be, defensively, some of the things, but they've tightened a lot of things up. And I really, take my hat off to the way they've grown into this situation. A lot of the guys have really grown up, man. They got some young players that really come into their own. And I can't say enough about Bryce. I mean,
boy, he's fit. He's fit Philly like a glove, hadn't he?
Yes, he has, man. And you see, he's the kind of guy you respect because he's a hard worker.
Yeah,
he's not going through the motions, and he's a great player. I mean, you see him when he swings. You see guys where every time they swing, you're expecting something to happen because he's got such his swing is almost perfect. And, to see the way that they're playing, though, man, it's been a lot of fun. And the thing is going to be tight. I mean, because, they got a couple aces to go to start things out. Astros, the Astros are tough, though, man.
They haven't lost a game in the postseason yet, and they destroyed the Yankees.
Yeah, and they got all the depth. I mean, these guys coming out of the bullpen they got, and, that
World Series for the fourth time in 6 years, Gary.
I mean, like I said, it's going to be tough. They're going to take – it's going to have to be where they benefit from this crowd here because when they come to Philly, man, this thing is just so crazy playing games here that you just hope the crowd and all the enthusiasm will take them over the top because I think they're definitely getting a lot out of all the games they play here. So hopefully they find a way because they got their work cut out for them because, Houston's a great team.
This is going to be absolutely a great October and November.
That's the reason they
definitely in
play. All those
Philadelphia.
guys, when they were little guys playing, this is what they were dreaming of.
Yeah.
And a lot of the young kids, they get to the majors and all of a sudden, they're in the World Series. They're going to think it's like this every year. It's not like this every year, kid.
Gary, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, my friend.
All right, have a good one.
You got it. Fox 29's Gary Cobb, the legendary Gary Cobb. What a baseball player he was, too, when he was younger, man. Gary could have played professional baseball, too, if he felt like it, man. What a great, great athlete he was. By the way, don't forget, we will have Curt Schilling, the NLCS most valuable player for the Phillies in 1993, and the 2001 World Series most valuable player will join us at 4:30 and get his thoughts on the Phillies making it all the way to the World Series to take on the Houston Astros, too. Don't forget our friends at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. You go to Morgan & Morgan if you're hurt or injured on a job, because they will take care of you like no other. Last 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has protected clients to the tune of $13.5 billion. With over 800 attorneys and offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida, Morgan & Morgan is the biggest firm in the country, ready to back you and your family. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The call is free. The consultation's free. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When you're hit from behind in a car crash, the insurance company may try to say, you can't possibly be hurt. It was only a few miles an hour. It's simply not true. You see, here's the thing. Getting hit at 10 miles per hour is like falling off of this. 15 miles per hour, like this. And only 25 miles per hour, this. Injured, dial pound law. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Should I put it up? Should I put this thing up? No? I'm still debating. What do you think? Should I put this thing up? Look at that thing. Holy Maron. Should I put it up? Okay. What do you think? Look at it. To Dan. Put it with your ladies' glasses. Look at that. Burn it, Carl says. Come on, guys. NFL helmet. It's the real deal. You know, I lost mine. Someone stole it. So Steven says, where's your cowboy helmet? I go, it got stolen. So, voila, man. Check it out. They said, hey, here. Disgusting? Wow. Am I being really browbeat down not to have the cowboy helmet hanging? You know, Xander's never complained about anything of my collection except my flattened football that Jimmy gave me. Okay? It's the only thing he hates back here. All right? But he said, dude, really? Really? Look at the star. Look at that thing. #1 franchise in the world. I played for him. How you doing? Albeit a cup of coffee, but still. You sound like a Cowboy fan. Steven, actually, I'm not. Actually, I'm not. I don't root for the Cowboys. I think they're better. Barf bucket, return to sender. Best secondary in the NFL. I do think they have. Whoa. That's a great one. Are the Cowboys secondary, and is it better than the Eagle? The Cowboys have better safeties than you. They have better safeties. Hey, Sills, you know that in 1980, every Philadelphia sports team, I do know that, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, all made it to the NHL and NFL and NBA finals. That's right. I think the Flyers, did they not play the Islanders in 1980? That was the last year. Was it 80 that they played the Islanders? I think it was 80 they played the Islanders in the NBA or in the NHL finals, if I'm not mistaken. That's an ugly-ass helmet. Come on, Joseph. That's an ugly-ass helmet. I played for the Bucks and I played for the Cowboys. I played for the Lions, actually, too. No? It's an ugly helmet. It's an ugly helmet. Ugliest helmet in the league, easily, says Xander. Really? This is the ugliest helmet in the league? Look at the owner, soon to be. Look at the CEO of the Cowboys said, Sills, you got to have your helmet. It'd been nice if you put my face mask on, but they looked for it too. They have these warehouses that they keep all the helmets in. Look at this thing. It's the ugliest helmet in the league, says Xander. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be a lot of excitement for me to look at this too. It doesn't seem to be a lot of excitement for me to to keep this thing hung up. I don't know. I may have to put it with the other helmets. Good rifle target. What? Vomitous helmet? Shit is trash hater. Yeah. Good rifle target. Ugliest is Browns. Who man is this? Ty. You're here, Ty. I'm here Monday through Friday. Who man is this? Me not know who me is. You need green in the background. I got some green back there, dog. That helmet is a curse. Burn it as soon as possible. Cowgirls stink. Got whooped. Yeah, you guys beat Cooper Rush. Congratulations to you. You beat a substitute teacher who sucked. I told you he did. when you played with the Cowboys, were you any good? No. No. Dan, I hate to see you completely blow up and destroy whatever cash that you were able to build up with the Philly faithful. Ronald, wait a minute. Xander said that, hang on for a second. A freaking helmet could end everything. A helmet. Don't be so sensitive. A helmet? Are you kidding me? A helmet could ruin all the cachet that I've built up in Philly. A helmet. Gee, don't let it be anything that I've said about Hurts or anything about any of the other guys on the team, like get off the bus, Reddick. But the helmet, this helmet can destroy everything, right? This helmet, if I hang it up. Holy cow. This helmet can destroy everything that I've done. Only these losers have that helmet. Oh, this ought to be good, too. Xander, of course. Players come and go. The Cowboys will always be hated. Hey, Sills, I don't give a shit about your Bucks helmet, okay? We got a little issue in how you closed out the vet, but I get it. I was drafted there. Nobody says shit about that, but the Cowboy helmet? Look at this baby, man. The star. Oh, and Dak's back. Dak is back. Hang it in the attic. Sills, what was your record with the boys? I'm not telling you. Hang on. Wait a minute. It was the last year of Landry, my last 4 games. I was on the team the last 4 games in 88. So I think we were 1-3. Then I got there with Jimmy for a few. And he didn't lose. He didn't win, one game in his first year, so let's see. I think 1-7. I think 1-7. Okay? I think it was 1-7. Not just a helmet. A Cowboy. Ugh. Bucks aren't in our division. True. Xander, put a bag off. I hate Joe Jaravicious. Hey, Joe was great in the Super Bowl for the Bucks. Dak to fail. That'll be a topic at the top of the hour here, man. By the way, I got another topic too, about the Eagles getting ready for the Steelers. The NFL, I want to look at Week 7. Boy, I'll tell you what, man. The Eagles are the best team in the NFC. And Jalen Hurts, another comment on Jalen at the top of the hour here too. D. Foreman for D. Walker. What do you think? Joe, I love the way you're thinking. A little bit more on that Brian Burns deal, too. Carolina doesn't look like they're moving off the DE. There's a report out there that a team offered him up this number of picks. We'll hit on all that. Please hit the like button. Hour 2, we will have Kurt Schilling, the former 93 NLCS MVP for the Phillies, talking about the Phillies punching their ticket to the World Series against the Astros. All in Hour 2. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says yes, you can. Jeff says yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say no, you can't, Jeff says yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Let's go 200 JetX Sluggo.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Hour number 2, National Football Show. It's your boy, Big Sills. Bottom of the hour, legendary postseason pitcher. How about 11-2 in his entire postseason career? League Championship MVP, World Series MVP, Curt Schilling will join us at the bottom of the hour. We will talk with him on the incredible run by the Phillies. They fired their manager, and they end up rolling out a World Series run to get to the Fall Classic. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. So we'll talk to Schilling. That'll be at the bottom of the hour. Something else about that game that I thought was totally dope by Bryce Harper. And I'm going to say this to you about Harper too. You see him walk by Machado? When he hit the home run, he hits a 2-run shot. You see him walk by him? You know, he's in a home run trot, and there's Machado over there, and he walked right by him. I thought it was brilliantly done. That dude has swagger. You know, I said something to Xander when we first started our show and we were talking about Harper. I said this, yeah, he won a season MVP. Big deal. People in Philly want to see a championship. What he did last night and yesterday is iconic. You'll never think of Bryce Harper as a Washington National ever again. He'll be a Philly. You look at him and you think of him as a Philadelphia Philly. You know, Reggie Jackson back in the day was a phenomenal Oakland Athletic. That was maybe one of the greatest baseball teams of all time. But Reggie's known for what? His 3 blasts that he hit in the 77 World Series. He'll always be known for being a Yankee. Reggie's best years were in Oakland. Harper's best years were in Washington, obviously. Spent his most time there. Yet to be determined. He's still 29. Crazy, because he came into the league at 17. But what that guy did, man, yesterday, let's give him something they'll never forget. Shit. That stuff you put on a stone and you put it out front of the stadium. Great stuff, man. Hey, and again, nobody gives a shit about regular season MVPs. I like to tell Joel Embiid that. Don't cry about that shit. Worry about finals MVPs. Bryce Harper's NLCS Most Valuable Player Award is worth 10 times more to Philly fans than what that regular season MVP meant. Because it's a team. You carried your team. You were a team leader. This is why you were brought to Philly. not to win individual accolades, but to bring a team with you and pull a team with you. You're not the caboose. Every athlete wants to be the engine that carries his team. You don't want a team pulling you along. You want to be at the front, man. Come follow me. It's kind of what Jalen's doing. It's kind of what Jalen's doing now. Jalen last year, I thought he was pulled by his offensive line and his team. This year, there's no doubt what Gary Cobb said last hour is so true. You're not winning those games without Jalen Hurts on the field. He's playing the best football of any quarterback in the NFC, and right now he is the NFC's most valuable player. Is there even any other player in the NFC playing better than him? Wouldn't you say this? The two best players that you've seen play, maybe if you want to go three best players that you've seen, have been Micah Parsons, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts. Can you believe they're all in the NFC East? I think if you were going to put just a poll together, not the entire league, the best players in the NFC, who's playing better than Jalen Hurts? Who in the NFC? Kyler Murray's not. Stafford's not. Cooper Kupp's not. Aaron Donald's not. Nobody in San Francisco. Nobody in Chicago. Dallas, Micah Parsons probably. Right? Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers ain't. Think about what's happened here. Jalen Hurts has put in so far in the first half of the season. I know we're not there yet. We're almost there. He's put the best performance of any team in the NFC by any player. Am I wrong? I mean, can you tell me? I mean, is there another guy you went, Sills, this guy's out. Justin Jefferson is having a great year. But when they had that matchup, the Eagles shut him down, and he was a non-factor in that game when they had that Monday night ball game. So, you know, when you have one of those Heisman games and you don't show up, I count that against Justin Jefferson. Okay? I mean, GT, I'm trying to figure out who's outplaying him. No one is playing better than Hurts. Geno Smith. Geno Smith could be the comeback player of the year, either comeback player of the year, but they'll probably give that to Saquon Barkley because he's playing his ass off. Playing his ass off. Eagles 15-2, Giants 12-5, Cowboys 11-6. 007 thinks that three teams could potentially come out of the NFC East. Nobody was saying that at the beginning of the year. Shit, man. Get this. Did you ever think that the Bucs, the 49ers, the Rams, and the Packers might not make the playoffs? Think about that. The Niners, the Packers, and the Bucs and the Rams might not make the postseason. Wow, is this setting up for Philly? Like I said, and I've been saying it for about 6 months now, Eagles and Bills in the Super Bowl. Eagles and Bills. Brian Dable, Coach of the Year, him or Sirianni, but I would give it to Dable because he took over a train wreck from Dave Gettleman. Don't rule out Washington 3-4. I'm with you. Steven, I think they got a bunch of shitty games coming up. Wouldn't shock me that Tyler Heineke gets his – by the way, Carson Wentz is never getting his job back in Washington. That shit's over. That shit's over. He'll never get his job back. Not happening. Heineke has an energy with that team. That team responds to him. The fans like him. It's not happening. He ain't ever getting his gig back in Washington. There's another team right there. Okay, and Carson's finished. He is officially finished. He may go somewhere, and you know what's going to happen one day? Wentz is going to go somewhere and put up a Rich Gannon year, and you're going to go, holy shit. But that's going to be somewhere where no one's expecting him to do anything. And he's just going to have one of those years. You watch, I tell you that. But he's lost that gig. He'll never get that job back. Never. Heineke even throws the ball better. He just looks like he throws the ball better with more confidence. Give the Giants their propers. I got to, man. I don't believe in them, but I keep saying that. Now they're 6-1. It's crazy shit, man. Okay? They got a better record than the Cowboys. Unbelievable. By the way, Brian Burns, some of you guys didn't want to give up the 32nd pick for him. You said it was too rich. According to Adam Schefter, 2 teams have offered Carolina 2 first-round draft choices for Brian Burns, but you guys don't want to give up the 32nd shitty pick for an edge rusher that could help your football team close the door on Buffalo and close the gap with Buffalo, because you're going to have to get Josh Allen on the ground if you're going to win the thing. Okay? Because Hassan Reddick shows up occasionally. Like I said, outside of Washington, that D-line hasn't really done enough when it comes to rushing the passer. They still need an edge rusher. They're not getting home. Okay? Let them take him? Okay. So you think you're going to go into the draft and roll the dice and get yourself another Derek Barnett. Okay? Congratulations to you. Way to gamble on something that's not a sure thing, the NFL draft. Because if it was a sure thing, Jalen Hurts would be drafted in the 5th pick. The NFL draft is not a sure thing. Brian Burns is. Don't you get it? 24 years of age. So you go after A.J. Brown at 24, and you look at Brian Burns, he makes your team younger. Then you're able to move off of some of these older guys. Don't see it. Will Anderson? Tell you what, Alabama? I don't know. And I'll say this to you about Will, GT. He ain't playing that hot this year. That dude don't look like the same guy from a year ago. I don't know. I think they're doubling him. I do think that they're going after him more. But last year, after week 4, he took off and had 15.5 sacks. That ain't near what's happening now. I think he's going to go high. He's a great player. Okay? But, hey, don't go to sleep on this guy, Brian Burns. Carolina has been fielding all kinds. Look what they did. They sent Christian McCaffrey to San Francisco. He even played. DT, I love Burns. Did someone before Sills gets when talking about the Cowboys, maniac? Still debating whether or not to put this bad puppy up. Owner, get this. You guys should be very privileged. The owner of the Dallas Cowboys sent your boy, who talks Eagle football, his helmet. His helmet. I didn't ask for it. Here, Sills. Okay. Maniac, you got to remember, I don't follow along well. Okay, man. Wait a minute. So you got a trash can. Look at you guys, man. God, man. Put it away. Xander even gave me crap for it. By the way, don't forget, Kurt Schilling bottomed the hour. Jim Jones said he won't plan on making deadline deals. We don't care. I promise you we don't. That helmet is a portable commode. Okay. Jeez, man. Xander didn't want to look up at it. He noticed it, but he was like, "You're really not going to hang that, are you?" Sills, I love you, man, but please, I can't. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even mention it. I just hung it up. Man. Whew. You have 3 passing TDs going into week 8 with the best wide receivers. Underwhelming. Hurts has some passing TDs, same passing TDs as Daniel Jones. Jones has no O-line or wide receivers. Hurts is beat O-line and wide receivers. Game manager. Pretty true. So wait a minute. Daniel Jones has as many touchdown passes as Jalen? Hang it up, Sills. Put up a Gator helmet. That ain't happening. You will never see anything Gator in my house. Ever. You will never see anything Florida Gator in my house. That will be a promise. Okay? You'll never see that. You will never see a Florida Gator or anything. In my God, that is not happening here, man. What's the better Philly story? The Phillies or the Eagles? What's the better Philly sports story? What's the better story going on here? Eagles undefeated? I think you guys have a shot. Seminoles okay, because we owned them. It was 2-2 against some other dudes. Philly, Steve? Phillies or the Eagles? What's the better story? Eagles. It's a tie, Mr. International. I thought people in Philadelphia had opinions. Come on, my friend. Xander says Phillies. Phillies. I don't know. It's tough. Seals, bet your big head doesn't fit in that helmet. Oh, I bet you $100 million it doesn't either. Big Seals doesn't have a helmet. He's got an 8-gallon. Remember that. Okay? Remember that. I'd have to take the pads out for that puppy to fit my head. Right now, Phil, look at GT. Look at him quantify it like a politician. Right now, Phillies, Eagles, Phillies. How about your answer? Is that's how hard it is. Right now, Phillies. Look at Mike, politician. That would be crazy if the Philly sports teams went out. It'd be incredible that you guys won multiple championships in the same year and no one expected it. Until Sunday, it's Phillies. Yeah, I have a melon, Chris. Thank you. Phillies right now, Chris says, they're playing for a championship. Phillies fired their manager. Do you guys think that this is one of the greatest sports stories in Philadelphia sports history? What the Phillies are doing? Fire your manager. Was Girardi. What were you guys, 22-25 when they fired his ass? They were 22-25, right? Don't forget, Curt Schilling's joining us too. Right? 22-25 when they fired Joe Girardi. And I'm trying to think in baseball history if I've ever seen anything where you fire. You know, I think the Yankees may have done this when Bob Lemon took over, maybe back in the 70s when Martin got fired. But that was a revolving door constantly with Steinbrenner and Bob Lemon and Stretch and all them guys. So it became common habit that Steinbrenner would do that. But if you go out of the building, have you ever seen anything like this before where you saw a team go on and punch their ticket and make themselves NLCS champions? I don't know if I've ever seen that. And I am so privileged to be able to have, for a second time on, the 1993 NLCS MVP. How about this, folks? 1.69 in that championship run. His overall postseason record. I say this about you, Kurt, all the time. You're the best big-time postseason pitcher, 11-2, 2.23 ERA. Wow! In 19 starts, the 2001 World Series MVP, Curt Schilling. Thank you, Kurt, for stepping in. Can't hear you, Kurt. No, I can't hear you yet. See if we can get him up here with the volume here. See if we're able to do that. God, look at these numbers here, man. I mean, incredible here. Okay? I mean, 93 NLCS MVP and the 11-2 in the postseason. You know, you would have to go Madison Bumgarner, Sandy Koufax to go with some of the numbers that you're looking at with people that really show up when it comes to postseason play. And the 2001 World Series MVP was the co-MVP there, obviously, with Randy Johnson when they won it against the Yankees. And 11-2 with a 2.23 ERA. That was one of the things that I thought that was going to stop the Phillies from having an opportunity at competing against the Padres. The Padres, in my opinion, okay, I mean, I thought they had more starting pitching. Yu Darvish, the kid they got from Tampa, plus the batting that they had there. I mean, Manny Machado, who I think happens to be one of the best third basemen in the sport, and I'm shocked that the Rollins folks did not name him to the Golden Glove finalist list. Absolutely a phenomenal ball player, but the energy that they had in the building and the ability for them to be able to just – did you hear what Harper said too? Harper goes like this: "Hey man, I don't even want to. I don't want to get on an airplane again, and I don't want to go back to San Diego, and I don't want to have to get out there and do it. Let's just close it now, and let's just do something now that they'll never forget." To me, man, it'll go down as one of the great moments in all of baseball, man. That Harper net home run he hit, that 2-run shot, ends up getting a guy on first base, and boy, I just, without a doubt here, hopefully we're able to do it now. Xander, can we go to him now? Or friend Kurt Schilling? Kurt, are we there?
Can you hear me?
Are you bet? Got you, man. Thank you so much, Kurt, for stepping in.
No worries, man. No, sorry about that.
Kurt, how shocked are you that you see what you have seen with this Philly run?
Not at all.
You're not shocked. Why?
Because after, I don't know, when you can go back and look at my Twitter account probably 10 days ago, I tweeted out something very simple. I said, this Phil's team has the vibe. They have the vibe. They have that there's a certain look and feel to October confidence, and they had it. And you got to play. You got to play. You can't just have confidence. You got to go out and got to play. And you saw Harper. I mean, one of the things, and I use this analogy not loosely, but not 100%. There's the David Ortiz feel to Bryce Harper now. It's his team. It's his city. And not only has he hit his way to that position, but I think everybody on both sides wants it. I think it's what he wants. And I think I think the fans were looking for that guy. You got Hoskins and Schwarber, and the Phillies are doing what I think everybody in February said this team was capable of. They had Nolan, Wheeler at the top of the rotation, hit a lineup that could hit a lot of home runs, and they didn't really consistently do that during the season. And they're doing it now. And I remember the teams that I was on that won it all showing up at the ballpark in the playoffs and never expecting to lose. I mean, we were down 3-0 to the Yankees. I'm sure there was some hesitancy, but I never thought we were going to lose a game, even though maybe on paper we were outmatched. And on paper, I think they are outmatched. I find it, I love what the Phillies are doing. I really believe in that team, but I have a hard time seeing anybody beat Houston 4 times in 7 games.
Give me your thoughts on Wheeler and how good he's been and how incredible he's been, especially in the postseason.
I said, listen, you can go back to my Twitter. The winner he signed, I said that was the biggest, most impactful free agent signing of the year. I've loved the arm, always loved the arm. And I've always said in the past, October, sabermetrics kind of go away in October. They don't work. And October is about power pitching, swing and miss pitching. And it's the reason why a guy like Aaron Judge can hit .317 with 62 home runs up through September. But in October, you don't face 3s, 4s, and 5s. You don't face those middle relievers at the back of the bullpen who get trash innings. You see 1s and 2s and 3s, and you see the premium bullpen arms every at bat. And those guys are who they are mainly because they can command a fastball inside the strike zone. Even though watching this postseason has been rather challenging in that regard. But Nolan, Wheeler, to me, are the reasons why I believe if the Phillies are going to be World Series champions, it's going to be because those 2 guys clutch up and win 4 of the 7 games.
Kurt, you were on some of the most iconic ball teams that really fed off that emotion. Like you said, the 93 Phillies, the 2001 Arizona D-backs, everyone was talking Yankees, obviously the Boston series when you guys are down 0-3. Talk about that energy. And you saw it building, like you were saying on your Twitter. It just turned into a cascade for this Philly team.
I think
you ride it the whole way.
Yeah, I think it's one of the reasons why I feel like I can very much identify with what these Phillies players are dealing with. There's nothing like that. I mean, listen, it's what, almost 30 years later, and we're still one of the most revered teams in the city's history, and we didn't win. That team and that city forms bonds with its teams and its athletes like very few other places in any sport. And the whole city is kind of rising and sleeping with the outcome of the Phillies game. Then you got the Eagles, having the year they're having, and the Flyers off to a great start. So everybody in Philadelphia is feeling good. It's hard to explain to people that permeates down to the players. You feel that energy. It's what makes you never fatigued. Well, I never was. You don't. There's no fatigue in October when you're in that environment because everything is positive energy. And like I said, you've got a guy who I've always been a fan of, Bryce Harper's. I had a chance to meet him when he was very young, getting into the league, and I thoroughly enjoyed the small amount of time I talked to him. I thought he was a kid that was raised right, respectful, and all things. He plays the game hard, and it's rare. It's rare to find the guy who wants everybody to put their hopes and dreams on their back. Even rarer to find the guy who wants that and then goes out and does it. And, the at-bat the other night was that's the at-bat. When he was on Sports Illustrated as a 5-year-old, that was the at-bat he had lived his whole life for. And he got a chance to do it. And he came through. And it wasn't surprising to me. It really honestly wasn't. And so those kind of things are all the reasons why I look at the Phillies and say, maybe it's their year. Because if you go back and look at 93, we went up against the Blue Jays, who were probably the best offensive team I've ever seen. And we were huge underdogs. I don't think they'll be huge underdogs. I think they will be underdogs because winning 4 out of 7 to me says you're probably going to need to beat Verlander. And I'm not sure that that's real easy to do. And Alvarez and those guys, their bullpen is just clicking. I think the Phillies bullpen has kind of figured it out a little bit, and there's going to be a mix and match thing. But you're going to need power arms to get you to the 7th and 8th inning this time, and maybe see a lineup. God forbid they'd see a lineup 3 times around. I mean, my goodness, the horror.
I saw one of your years, Kurt, where you had 15 complete games. I'm like, geez, man, you might as well just take that stat out of baseball today.
My game 5 start against the Blue Jays, I think I threw 147 pitches. And there was never anybody up in the bullpen. It was, but I believe in my heart that I instilled that kind of confidence. And that's what you have. I mean, Wheeler's got about a 1.70 ERA going through the postseason. Yeah. I mean, I think he's starting to make a name for himself. Verlander's already done that, right? I mean, for the most part, you're one of the things you realize when you get to October baseball, something that Justin has obviously seen and these guys get exposed to, is the leadoff hitter is the winning run. You don't play for 4-run innings anymore. Even though, you got the Phillies who are driving the ball, and Schwarber and Hoskins and Harper and the scary part of, and if you go to the other side, the scary part about Houston for me is they haven't lost a game, and I think Altuve and there's another guy in their lineup that in 20-some at bats they have 1 hit. Like that would have gotten great prop bets before the series because he's a motor. He's the spark plug, and I don't think he's going to go hitless in the World Series.
Kurt, for you, your numbers in the postseason, as I mentioned, everybody, 11-2 overall, 2.23 ERA, 19 starts. I think your career ERA is around a low 3. I think 3.01 or something like that. What was the difference for you when you got into the postseason? Like you just mentioned, 140-plus pitches, iconic moments in Boston, what you did in Arizona, what you did in Philly. I mean, what was it for you that sets you apart that maybe we're seeing now with Wheeler and Verlander? And what kicked into gear for you?
October's about perfection. And there are a lot of people that don't like those expectations. You know, I can remember I was talking, and this guy was a Hall of Fame player, talking about October when I first met this guy. And I said to him, you know, the cool thing about October to me is you're one pitch away from doing something people will remember the rest of their lives. And like, that gives me chills now to say it, because like I was inspiring. And he responded with, yeah, you're also one pitch away from making him forget everything you did good during the season. And I was like, wow, I'm beating that guy. That guy's not going to win. And you know, I can remember, you know, if you remember back in 2003 when Aaron Boone hit the walk-off against the Yankees or against the Red Sox, Kevin Millar was talking about the fact that he was out there. He didn't want to be Bill Buckner, you know, and you have to have somebody in the clubhouse that changes that mentality to from all that bullshit to, you know, why not us? Why not? And you know, I think that was probably one of the things I brought to Boston was the ability. I mean, the Yankees never beat me when it mattered. I didn't care who they were. I knew they were good. I knew you had to go through them, but I wasn't worried about playing them in the postseason. Now we go down 3-0 and, you know, things are a little different, but that wasn't a stigma for me. And I think that there was a lot of guys in that clubhouse. It was. And,
Kurt, would you say you wanted to play the Yankees?
Oh, yeah. No. Absolutely. You know, if you look at 01 and 04, the reason they were special is because we went through the Yankees both times. And, you know, we ended their run. They were trying to win their fourth straight in 01. And in 04, no matter what they do for the rest of their history, the Yankees are still the authors of the biggest choke in the history of the game. So that's a beautiful thing. But yeah, I always, you know, and you know, you can see it, like I said, you can see it in Bryce Harper. That's the thing. I mean, I think it's never about one player, obviously, but I think that Philadelphia's chances to win it all go through him. And I think that, you know, if I'm pitching for Houston, I'm going to make sure that Bryce Harper doesn't have a signature moment, because that lights everybody up. I mean, that's much easier said than done. But you know, that to me is going to be the key. Nolan Wheeler have to be Nolan Wheeler. You're going to need 7 innings, 7 2/3, 1 earned run, 3 hits, 12 punch out outings from both of them, maybe 4 times. Because I you know, except for I think it was the 2002 Angels, I don't ever remember a team slugging their way to winning a World Series. You don't hit your way. It just doesn't happen because of the amount of quality pitching that you see. And like I said, Houston they have to feel amazing about their chances. First of all, they haven't snipped a loss, which is not a small thing, by the way, because you have a longer format now and more, you know, you're playing win or go home much more often. But they've done this all without, I think, their best player in Altuve. And they can match Nolan Wheeler from a power arm starting pitching standpoint. And my God, their bullpen has been electric.
Kurt, how do you look at Houston with all the chaos that was there a couple of years ago with, you know, a black dot on the game with all?
Well, I mean, isn't that gone now?
To me,
well,
I think baseball needs a villain. Kurt, I think they need a villain, and I think this is great for the game.
And I think that was one of the things that was absolutely influential in that Yankee series was, hey, people think we had to cheat to beat them. We'll show you. And they steamrolled them. I mean, let's be clear.
Oh, they ran them over.
They went 4-0. It was never no. And you know what the amazing thing was? Every time in that series that the Yankees put pressure on, the Astros didn't wait. They responded immediately. Like, oh, you know, listen, guys, you're really not in this thing, and we're going to beat you, but stop, you know, here we're going to stop giving you. It was just amazing to me. And that, you know, anybody with logic understands that's in the past. That has nothing to do with anything. Although I think it's a bulletin board thing for the Astros by far. I think that there's the guys that are still there are out to prove that, you know, the first one had nothing to do, you know, even though we know it did. But that this is to shed that. So the only people left are the conspiracy theory guys and Yankee fans, you know, who apparently want Aaron Boone fired because his team couldn't play, which is a joke.
Yeah, they want Mattingly in there now because they didn't get the team into the World Series there. I agree with you. What moment for you, Kurt, defines you? Boston, Philly, Arizona?
Yes.
Your baseball postseason.
Yes.
Who do you think?
All of it. I mean, you know, I remember I was in Arizona.
For me, Kurt, it's Boston. I think of you, and it all accumulated with what you did in Arizona, what you did. I mean, all of that to me, when you're on the hill and the sock and you're bleeding and you're doing this and you're out there on the hill, to me, that's what defines me when I think of Kurt Schilling in 11-2 was that moment there.
And you know, obviously, I appreciate that. But I think that But I was saying in 2000 when I got traded to the Diamondbacks and Buck Showalter was managing, and I came over. I started out 4-0, got us into helped to get us back into the race and keep us up. And then I failed. I was miserable the last month, and that was one of the reasons we didn't make it. But Buck had told me when I came over, he said, "Listen, we win this thing and we get to the postseason, you're getting the ball game 1." And I'm thinking to myself, "Oh, hold on a second. There's a 6'10" 100-mile-an-hour throwing left-hander." But he somehow, in his mind, I had given him the confidence that I was the guy he would want. I think doing what I did against the Braves in '93 started all of the discussion, the shutout with Toronto, and then coming into the St. Louis series. And I don't know, one of the best series I ever played in was that we played the Cardinals in a best of 5, and I beat Matt Morris 1-0 in Game 1 with a complete game, and I beat Matt Morris in Game 5 2-1 with a complete game, and then we win the series. Womack hits the walk-off, and then I go and throw a complete game against Atlanta, and I've thrown 4 straight complete games in the postseason. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of what's supposed to be. That's how it's. I mean, I didn't look at that as, wow, look what I did. I looked at that as, okay, I'm doing what's expected of me in that sense. And then, we went against the Yankees, and I went, I made 3 starts in 7 games and pitched on short rest, and everybody's like, oh, statistics are against anybody throwing on 3 days rest, and it doesn't work. And I was like, that again, those things are meaningless. They have nothing to do with anything. And the mystique and aura of Yankee Stadium with, I said, oh, mystique and aura are strippers in a nightclub. They have nothing to do with, but I felt like I was king of the mountain in October. It didn't matter. I always said, those guys that beat me in April to September were better than me, Maddox and Glavine and all those other guys, but none of them and nobody in the Hall of Fame and anywhere could have ever beat me in October. And I looked at that as the reason why you played. And whether it was true or not, like most other things, it's what I believed. And I tried to. The
numbers dictate it, and the numbers play it out in 19 postseason starts. I mean, 11-2. I would say recently, Madison Bumgarner, and if you want to go back into the 60s with Koufax and talk about people who are dominant pitchers, Andy Pettitte a little bit as well, but you're right there with anybody, and that leads me to Justin Verlander. How do you – Kurt, I think if I'm not mistaken, he's got 244 wins. I don't think there'll ever be a 300-game winner because guys don't go past 5 2/3 any longer. So I think that number, Tom Glavine will probably be the last guy. I believe that's who it is to win 300 ball games.
Right.
It'll never happen again. So 200 is going to be a monster, and you have 200 wins, obviously. Your take on Justin Verlander's career, they'll probably play against him in the opening game in Houston.
Yeah. First ballot Mortal Lock Hall of Fame guy who,
he's done more than you?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, this guy has done things that nobody's ever done. And he married Kate Upton, by the way. So he's got one up on all of us in that sense. But I always like power pitching, and this is a guy who is the definition of power arm, an ace, an October guy. He's risen to the challenge in October. He's gotten better in October. He had one, and in many ways, a lot of the similar career path later in the career, in the sense that he's having some of his best years at an age when everybody's looking at people and saying, let's not expect as much out of him. He had might have had his best year ever this year. Lock Hall of Famer, and somebody. I don't watch a lot of baseball anymore. It's very hard for me to watch, but
why?
Because it's not, the game has changed so dramatically. It's not.
What's the worst part of the game change, Kurt?
The complete conversion to sabermetrically driven decisions. Watching Blake Snell come out of a World Series game and cost the Tampa Bay Rays the World Series because he didn't want to face him 3 times around the lineup, and watching.
Hopefully we can, Xander, let's see if we can reconnect here a little bit here and get him back here, because I'd like to close up with getting his prediction on the series as well here, because I'd like to get his opinion, man, because there's no doubt. I mean, the Astros have lost no games in the postseason so far. So, yeah. Boy, that was – I mean, Justin Verlander, 244 career victories, if I'm not mistaken. By the way, top of the hour, we'll get back into pro football. We'll look at week 7. But, man, I was shocked when he said that, because look, 11-2, 2.33 ERA and 19 starts here. I mean, Justin Verlander, I mean, yeah. I mean, he's probably going to win another Cy Young Award. Okay? He's probably going to win another Cy. And he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, according to Schilling here. How about what he said about Bryce Harper, too? He's got a David Ortiz now feel about himself. Big Papi, no question, man. I just loved that comparison on what he was saying about Big Papi. Let's get back over to Kurt here.
Sorry about that. That was on me.
Hey, Kurt, why the Big Papi comparison when it comes to Bryce Harper?
Well, for a lot of reasons, but more than anything, I think he's good for the game. I mean, he hasn't gotten a DWI. He didn't hit his wife. He hasn't done drugs. He hasn't done PE. He hasn't done all the things that we seem to think professional athletes are above, right? He's made smart choices. And I think he's probably had multiple chances on a daily basis to make bad decisions, and he hasn't done that. And I think he's just good for the game. And when you see a guy that's good for the game become a team's masthead in a city like that, and that's probably as much as anything in that city. I mean, can you imagine if Vladimir Guerrero had spent his whole career in Philadelphia, or Mike Trout, or Ohtani? I mean, Philadelphia is one of those cities that amplifies and magnifies its stardom. And I love, in a good and bad way.
Yeah.
You know, the villains in those cities are the worst of the worst of the worst. And the heroes are the best of the best of the best. And you know, I ultimately think that sports is about the heroes and the villains. And it's always good to see the good guys. And in a villains in a, you know, I hate the Yankees and Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Hey, Kurt, do me a favor. Expand a little more why you think the game is in a bad place right now. You were getting there. What, and with all the numbers and all that, I think, problem for you.
Unfortunately, I think in many, many ways they're catering to an audience that doesn't exist. You know, baseball is still the only game without a clock in professional sports, and I think there's some mystique to that. But the television dollar is driving every decision everyone's making, and their desire to shorten the game. You know, the shift rules next year, which I think are absolutely ridiculous. You know, the other rule, I think they're coming in with you can only throw to first base 2 times. I mean, that's going to have a dramatic impact on the game. I think they're trying to fix something that isn't broke. I get it. And the games are going too long and all the things that entails, but that's part of the result of this, this influx of sabermetrics. I mean, sabermetrics is
But Kurt, shouldn't that evolve organically in baseball instead
of sure.
Being...
Well, baseball, I mean, if you look at it, there's a reason there's different eras when you look at committees voting for star players, Hall of Fame players, because the game changes. You know, and you know, in 1968, you had Bob Gibson with a 1.12 ERA, and they dropped the mound height. You know, I mean, you can make adjustments like that, but everybody's field is still exactly the same, right? It's 90 feet to the bases, and it's 60 feet 6 inches to home plate. And those mathematics are athletically perfect. I mean, the sport is athletically perfect from a measurement perspective. The stadiums are different, which gives it a different feel. And in many ways, that is another thing that baseball owns that no one, everybody else's stadium, the football field's 100 yards and 52 wide. Hockey rinks are all the same. Basketball courts are all the same. The baseball field isn't. I mean, the no clock and different stadiums, I think, make baseball different. But at the same time, this urge to get the game shortened has taken so much away from the watchability of it, and it makes it hard.
Two last questions for you here. Thompson taking over for Girardi. Can you, outside of those Yankee weirdo, the boss firing, Martin
Right.
and Don and Bob Lemon and them guys, outside of that, have you ever seen a substitute teacher come in and carry a team to a World Series?
Well, it's very, very rare. The Red Sox, I think, had it with, and I can't remember who it was in the 70s.
Was it McNamara?
It was. Wasn't that McNamara?
Yeah.
Yeah. But.
Or maybe Zimmer. It was the 76 team you're talking with Zimmer when Fisk hit it.
Right.
I think that Zimmer was the manager of that team.
I think it's rare because the managers have, in most cases, managers have very little to do with whether a team loses. I think they have a lot more to do with the team winning than they do with the team losing. But even rarer still is the manager that can do that. They can come in and change. And there was a seismic shift in the clubhouse when Girardi was let go and Thompson came in. I don't know what it was, but it was different. And I can tell you that just because part of turning a team around is making them believe in something they didn't believe the day before. And, and he's a guy like that. I think Terry Francona is very much a guy like that.
Yep.
I think that, the Guardians had the year they had, people were marveling at it. And I'm thinking to myself, that's just what he does. He has a way of making his players fall on the knife if they need to for him and love him. And this guy clearly, basically, I don't know what he did, but it was basically, hey, listen, you guys are really good. I'm just going to put the line about you guys go out and play the game hard, play the game right. And they did that. And obviously, listen, Aaron Boone is not the reason that the New York Yankees got swept. The New York Yankees got swept because Garrett Cole didn't pitch when he had to pitch and Aaron Judge didn't hit when he had to hit. And they know, the players know that.
Player accountability.
Right. And people talk about managing the bullpen this and managing the bullpen that. And, managing the what people need to understand is, and I heard a major league manager told me this, and I can't believe it to be true, but it is. He said that in this day and age of sabermetrics, there are teams whose front office, they'll have a front office person come down and tell the manager, you cannot use these relievers tonight. And because the algorithm says that when these players play a certain amount of innings over a certain amount of days, they don't do well on that third day. So these guys are unavailable. So all these bullpen moves that are being made, many times they're not being made by the manager. The manager's given a set of guidelines. You don't have a full 6 or 7 man bullpen. You have 3 or 4 guys available to you based on what the front office is telling you. So there's a lot more automation in managing than there was before. The sabermetric guys despise gut instinct and feel, and October has a lot of that. That's the other thing. Like I said, sabermetrics doesn't translate to October because guys play at a different level, and you can't account for that. And it's probably the one thing I always laughed when I first ran into Theo Epstein. I think the one thing that perturbed him and bugged him was he couldn't quantify chemistry. But he did after 2004. I think he understood that it was a massive part of putting together a winning team, which is why you saw David Ross become his guy as a player and all the things that went with that. Because they understand they can't quantify it, but they know it exists. And the guys in Philadelphia and in Houston too, they have that. They have that chemistry. And I think you have 2 teams who expect to win the World Series, which I think is the reason you're going to see. If the series drags out, I believe the Phillies win it. If it's quick and conclusive, I think if it goes 4-1, 4-2, it'll be Houston.
How do they keep it close, though, Kurt? I mean, for them, because like you said, they're going to be huge underdogs.
Everything's going to come, in my opinion, everything's going to come from the mound, the starting pitching. How deep in the game their starting pitching gets them. You have a condensed schedule in this postseason, which is going to magnify the guys with short bullpens, But I think, as with most postseason series, is going to. This
series will be one on the mound.
I think it'll be one in the rotation, the starting rotation. I think whoever does better between Wheeler, Nola, and Verlander, Alvarez. I think somebody wins. Those two guys for each team are going to win their games, right? One of these teams is going to be up 2-0, in my opinion.
Kurt, finally here, I'm going to let you go here, but I got to say this to you. It's got to bug you. And I know you probably are absolutely pathetically just over the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I am.
I know you are, but surely, man, having your fate in the hands of pencil pushers. And
I don't anymore. And that's the thing. I don't anymore.
Kurt, you can't. You can't have this career, Kurt, and not think that this thing should be honored. I mean, I find it to be the Hall of Fame's not complete without guys like you in it.
And I appreciate that, Dan. I really do. And that's one of the reasons why I'm way over it, because I think the people that know, and the people that don't like me. And that's okay. I have my rings.
What does liking you have to do with it, though?
Say it again.
What does liking you have to do with?
Well, it has everything in this woke day and age. It has everything to do with it. It has everything to do. I mean, the things that these people wrote about me were not just mistruths; they're flat out lies. And for people to consciously do that, there had to be motivation and reason behind it. You can Google and find reference to me being racist, homophobic, transphobic, and phobic of all this stuff. None of which is true. And in 22 years, I never had a teammate, player. I played against fan, clubhouse guy, coach. No one ever said anything in any capacity about me being any of those things. But suddenly, my post-playing career, I became those things. And I said earlier, I was doing an interview, and I actually had a writer who
your politics.
But I guess the hardest part for me, and I understand it, is that the writers of the world that knew me, that voted for me, and knew that I wasn't even remotely close to the things some of these people were saying, none of them ever said anything. None of them ever came out in my defense. And my former teammates, I mean, David's the only one that's actually been very open about the fact that, I wasn't any of those things. And I think a lot of people say, well, no one's coming to your your defense. But I think in this day and age, it's a dangerous thing to do, because if you do, you're gonna get trashed and labeled and destroyed. And I'm going to come to anybody's defense if they're going to attack somebody that I know not to be something that they're accusing them of, because I want to be true to myself. I don't think other people feel comfortable doing that, and that's okay. I mean, it disappoints me, because I would like for, and I think a lot of times we take our worldview from ourselves. And I think, hey, everybody should be open and honest and truthful about who they are, because for the most part, I know who I am. I'm a good person. I've never been someone who's tried to hurt people maliciously or anything like that. And to have the things written about me that were written about me trickle down to my kids and my family. And that was why the Hall of Fame thing every year became a nightmare for me, because it was just rehashing stuff that wasn't true. And they ended up having to deal with it. But I couldn't, and that's why I wanted it off the ballot. I didn't want to go through it that last year. And I'm in front of the Veterans Committee now at some point. And that, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But again, I still have my rings and my trophies and my memories, and I still have the respect of the players I played with and played against. And whether I have a plaque or not, that's not going to change.
Jesus, Griminy. Kurt, after my playing days, I got into broadcasting, and I like talking race, religion, and politics, and I've been labeled the same stuff. And all my teammates I played with in Miami, the Cowboys, the Bucks, and all the Lions, and all that stuff. People say these things, and I say to people all the time, the outhouse wall of social media, Twitter, it lies and lies and lies until the lie becomes the truth,
right,
to people. And unfortunately, for a guy like you, who should be honored, for every kid to go into baseball and watch and go into that great place. I love going into the Hall of Fame and seeing all those great people like you and Nolan and all those. I find it to be disgusting that you're not in that Hall of Fame.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming here, and thank you so much. By the
Always
way,
a pleasure, Ben.
Hey, Astros 4-1.
No, I think Philly's 4-3.
Philly 4-3-7. Fantastic. Hey, thank you so much, Kurt. I appreciate you doing this, brother.
Take care of yourself, my friend.
You got it. That is the legendary Kurt Schilling. Never thought about that, man. Kurt kind of goes through the same thing that we go through a little bit here. When people, I guess, when you have an opinion, my daughter even tells me this, Be prepared to have a challenge. But what a legendary baseball player and what a darn good friend to the program. And we're really privileged that he came on with us here. Please hit the like button. Hour number 3 is coming up. We're going to talk the Week 7 of the National Football League. Hey, he's got the Phillies in 7. He's got the Phillies in 7. Wait. We're coming down to the last hour here. And I got to ask, man, I mean, do we put the helmet back or do we not put the helmet back? Do we put it up? Hold on here. Why did you ruin the segment with that trash? I ruined hour 3. National Football Show. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to Pond Lee Hockey. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lee Hockey a call.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Let's go 200 JetX Sluggo.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Sills National Football Show. Please hit the like button. How you doing? Yes, sir. Got a new sheriff in town. Dak Prescott's back. Woo! I hope you enjoyed that Kurt Schilling interview because I did. I love talking baseball. Just so you know, I was raised on it. I'm more of a baseball fan than I actually am a football fan. I learned how to count doing batting averages. I'm actually more of a baseball fan. And I agree with Kirk. The game has gone the other way. It's really sometimes unwatchable. The great characters that they had in the sport. By the way, I missed the steroid era. Villains make sports. It's why you hate the Cowboys. Dak is trash. Wait a minute. Your boy Dak Prescott is not going to have – wait a minute. Your boy Jalen Hurts is not going to have a better career than Dak Prescott is. You're not. I love Kurt Schilling too, Greg. Dak is trash. F Dak. Xander hates this right now. This is why, I guess this is some of the reasons why people have issues with Big Seals. By the way, this last determining hour, what we're going to do. Look at Xander, man. He turned the lights out on me. You see? He turned the lights out on me because he's sick and tired of seeing the cowboy helmet. All right. Man. One little helmet. F that helmet. Wait, yell. One helmet. One helmet. One cowboy thing. And you guys go nuts on it. Damn the helmet. F the helmet. It's a helmet. The CEO said I needed to have my cowboy helmet. You guys don't want me to put it up? Hey, I know, Greg, right? That's classic, man. Hey, by the way, wait a minute. Ryan, I love Randy Johnson too. Hey, Greg, so you know, Xander had his head down the whole time. He saw the helmet. I know he did. I didn't say anything. He goes, seriously, dude. Okay, nobody in Philly's going to watch you anymore, man. I go, wait a minute. A helmet? Yeah, get that thing out of there. Come on, please. It's not going to work. And he's like, dude, it's just not going to happen. He goes, you're really not going to hang that there. Look at. Read the room. Easy, Yale. Take off the referee jacket. I'm not taking nothing off, baby. It's my Letterman jacket. NFL alumni, Jackson. Believe it or not, it's a little cold here. Jesus Criminy, take the jacket off. I'm taking nothing off. Hate the helmet, love the jacket. Dude, he did, man. He saw that helmet back there, and he goes, Jesus Criminy, how many times are you going to post a damn helmet on your Twitter page? I mean, right? Then he goes, you're not really going to have that up there, are you? Everyone's going to give you a bunch of shit for it. And I'm like, so? And he's like, no, this is not good. And I'm like, 3, 2, okay, we got, Jesus, Criminy. Okay. Nick goes, where do you live? I live in Big Sill Studios. I have no idea what my state is or my city. Doesn't matter. By the way, week 7 of the NFL. Aren't you guys concerned about Prescott being back now? Eagle fans, I don't know. I think you're going to have a tough one, man. What is it, Christmas night? Christmas Eve? Ronald says the helmet there was the ultimate conversation piece for the table. That's what we call a troll piece. No, the troll piece is that I play for them. Not concerned. Dak is going to help us. Really? The 49ers are the second best team in the NFC, but they won't beat Philly with garbage Garoppolo. Why? Because your guy's done more? He's done nothing. 0. Nothing. Jalen Hurts hasn't accomplished nothing. Nothing. There's no accomplishment. Well, I was the NFC Offensive Player of the Month. Congratulations. And Marcus Mariota was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Congratulations. You're right in good company. Right in good. Marcus Mariota and Jalen. There you go, baby. Okay? 49ers won't even win their division. Yeah, they will. Well, who else is in the West? The Rams? Don't think so. Give them 7 years like those other guys, says Chris. 7 years? Shit, in 2 years, Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl. Come on, man. Joe says I'm not trolling. Not at all, man. And I'm going to go here for you, Joe. Watch this. NFC. Are the Bucks Do you fear the Bucks? If you're the Eagles? I don't think so. It is Brady, though. So would you take Jalen Hurts right now to beat Tom Brady in a game, 60 minutes? Careful. Would you take Jalen Hurts to beat Tom Brady in a playoff game right now? Yes or no? James goes, nope. Jay says, yes. I'm taking Jalen over Tom Brady in a 60-minute football playoff game. James says yes. Mike, yes. I would. Maniac, you take Jalen over you take Jalen right now over Joe Montana. Easy does it. It's what I say, Nick. Yes, says Gary. Have you seen him lately? I have. Not playing very well. But you think that Jalen Hurts beats Tom Brady? No, I don't fear the Bucks. I'm not taking Jalen Hurts over Tom Brady in a game. As bad as he's playing. I'm not taking Jalen Hurts over Aaron Rodgers. Both teams are 3-4. That guy can't beat those two dudes. He has never even sniffed guys like that. He's beaten Kirk Cousins and Cooper Rush. Hey, it's a little bit different, okay? It's a little bit different. You know, it's kind of like dating a high school chick, and then you want to date a supermodel. Hey, man, that girl's really good looking over there, man. It's like dating a stripper and then going after Giselle. She's a stripper, okay? There's Giselle. It's a little different. Hey, I beat Cooper Rush. I beat Carson Wentz. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. You're not beating them two dudes. Okay? TB not going to make the playoffs. Okay, Mike, really? You think so? So the Falcons are going to, with the greatness of Marcus Mariota. How long has Jalen been in the league? I don't give a shit. I asked you today, right now, do you think Jalen Hurts can beat Tom Brady? Brady's at 3-4. Strippers are fun. Thank you, Mike. Still's Brady not going to make the playoffs. Okay. Brady's done. He beat their defenses. That's not what I saw in January. I saw that Bucs defense tear that Eagle team a new one. He could not beat Brady. That's right, Chris. He ain't beating Brady. You know that. As poorly as those teams are playing, 60 minutes in a playoff game, you're beating Tom Brady? Jalen Hurts. We're not talking Patrick Mahomes. We're talking Jalen Hurts. Books are cooked. Look at you, man. Guys all riding high. Dak's back, though. Dak is back. Woo! Man. Dak is back. Dak is back. Let's take a look at Week 7 of the National Football League. I do give you guys this, though. I do think that you guys are playing the best football of any team in the NFC. That's a fact. Okay? They're playing the best football of anybody in the NFC. I do think that the Giants are playing pretty decent ball, but I don't believe in them. I think the Cowboys – here's what the Cowboys – if they're going to go far and they're going to contend against the Eagles, here's what has to happen. Dak can't turn the ball over. He can't put that defense in a poor position the same way Cooper Rush did with those 3 turnovers. Remember something. The Cowboys were within striking distance with Cooper Rush of beating the Eagles when it was 20-17. Wasn't like you guys were close to blowing that thing out. It wasn't a blowout. Okay? People are still writing Geno Smith off, and he just continues to ball out. Bro, I've never seen anything like that story. This guy went from being a guy who was hated in the locker room to being knocked out in the locker room, being considered a bust, to now he's a star. That's insane. Just shows you what good coaching is. So you're off San Francisco now. No, I still think San Francisco will rally the troops and get it right. I do. Steelers is the only one worried about Dak. Here's, again, what Dallas has to do. Dallas is going to win. Dallas has the best defense in the NFL. You can go places with that. Dallas has the best defense in the league. And as long as Prescott doesn't turn the ball over and put that defense in poor positions like Cooper Rush did, they can win. And they can go far. And they can do some damage because of that defense. Do I think they could stop Buffalo or Kansas City? That I'm not saying yet. But I do think they can go far in the NFC. Garoppolo's trash. Every time any person like Brandon who says Garoppolo's trash, I say Hurts is trash. You want to go there? Jalen has not one thing on his resume. Not one thing. That's a positive where it was something you go, wow, what a great moment. He doesn't have a Harper moment. There's nothing iconic about his career so far. Nothing. He won a Player of the Month. It's like winning the Jelly of the Month Club certificate. Congratulations. Here's your certificate. You now get the Jelly of the Month. Or getting free Happy Meals at McDonald's. Here. Okay? Of course, Paul, my sports takes are asked to you because you know why? You hate hearing the truth. Hurts has done shit, man. Nothing. 6-0. Phenomenal. You know how many people in the NFL have been 6-0? Trent Dilfer has been 6-0. Give me a break. Trent's got a Super Bowl, actually. Trent helped lead a team to a Super Bowl. You've been wrong all year, asshole. Okay. See, look, I can always tell when we have a lowbrow thinker. He resorts to vulgarities. It's okay. You're resorting to vulgarities now. Dak throws more INTs than Rush does. Yeah, absolutely. I get it. Jimmy G is good up until he throws one of those INTs like yesterday on the goal line. He was playing against the Chiefs. The Chiefs. You're playing against the Jaguars. Okay? You're playing against the Jaguars. Okay? Still capped off the best interview of his JAKIB Media career with this rubbish. Disappointing. What disappointing? The Chiefs' defense is garbage. Okay. Hey, guys, I got to take a quick time out. I got a little bit of an emergency I got to address here. If you could please hit the like button. We're going to look at Week 7 of the National Football League. Thank you so much. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to Pond Lehocky. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lehocky a call.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Big Sales National Football Show. Got the landscapers here, and so the guy's up with his little blower. And these guys are great, man. They're good folks, too, man. I'm like, stop that. Hey, I'm like, I'm probably going to have to go out there and give him a beer or something, man. I don't know. Holy cow. Stop that. Yeah. Oh, man. Xander will tell you. Probably, Xander, it wasn't quite a DEFCON 9 meltdown like I've had before with you, but it was one of those, man. Right? It was one of those moments there for you. Rubbish. What rubbish? Man. Hey, Sills, Greg Ward is back. Who? Jimmy G is great at the line of scrimmage throws. Jimmy G's got a great resume, man. Jimmy G's the man. The man. Love him. Love Jimmy Garoppolo, man. Let's look at week 7 of the National Football League. Boy, I'll tell you what, it really has been some guys, how do you think this league has been so far this year? You think these games have been entertaining? I think the AFC has been pretty entertaining. Have these games been entertaining? I thought that Washington Green Bay was pretty good, but boy, I thought I saw a lot of bad football. Okay? Next Tuesday's the trading deadline. We'll get into that. You guys don't want to make a trade because, your boy who sometimes gets off the bus and sometimes he doesn't, Hassan Reddick. You guys think you're all set, even though you're not all set. Your pass rush is a tad bit improved, not much, and not anything to really write home about. Hassan Reddick. He's pretty good, but he's not like the answer. You're going to need a better pass rusher. You're going to need a better pass rusher. By the way, I can't wait to see next year's schedule, what this thing's going to look like. I guarantee you, next year you play the AFC West. I bet you the NFC East plays the AFC West next year. And then you give that guy $45 million, and that'd be the day you regret it. When you match him up versus Herbert and the rest of them dudes, those guys actually play people every week. You play well. Hey, well, you know what? I'll tell you what, man. Tyler Heineke, that team did look different in Washington. I don't think Washington is anything, but they looked way better with him as a starting quarterback than Carson Wentz. Okay? Way better. Your defense is not better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs actually have to defend great quarterbacks. You don't. You have to defend Cooper Rush. Quinn will join the Eagles. You're going to pick up that money? Why don't you go get the young kid then? The 24-year-old, Brian Burns. Why would you want a 33-year-old guy who makes a ton of money and would affect your salary cap? Why would you want that? Why would you do that? You still with this $45 million? Dude, you guys are going to have to pay that to that guy. Clutch Sports is not going to ask for anything less. Well, he loves Philly, so he'll take a $25 million pay cut. Yeah, okay. Chiefs defense is ranked 6th. Well, yeah, when you play Josh Allen and you're playing Herbert and you're playing Brady and you're playing all them dudes, you're not going to have a great number. Absolutely. Your guys' numbers across the board are against shitty teams. You've got numbers against shitty teams. What's the offense? Here's a great example of it. What's the offensive numbers for the or what's the defensive numbers for the Lions? Do you know the Lions are one of the worst defenses in the league? What's the numbers for the Jags offense? One of the worst numbers in the league. What's the number for the Vikings? Is a good win. I totally agree with that. Washington, they're playing better defensively, but the offensive numbers were pathetic before Heineke took over. Arizona's defense is trash too. Where have you played a good defense outside of the Cowboys? Where? Arizona's got a good defense? They're not bad. Cowboys are the best defense you played against. Cowboys struggled against the Lions. The Lions have the worst defense in the league. Yeah, but we put up big numbers. I know you did. And so is everyone else. It's why they're 1-6. Let's look, okay, at week 6 of the National Football League. Or week 7, excuse me, of the National Football League. I think there were some telling games, man. I do. I think there were some telling games. Some really good stuff, too, man, where you're starting to really see some guys separate. Cowboys are supposed to be the best D, right? I think they're the best defense in the conference. Week 7 of the NFL. How about Joe Burrow? 481 yards and 3 touchdowns. You think Jalen Hurts will ever throw for 481 yards in his career, and you're going to pay him $50 million? What are you going to pay Joe Burrow? 70? What are you going to pay Joe Burrow if you're going to pay Jalen Hurts $45 million? How much did you pay Joe Burrow? $75 million a year? Hey, I'll pay him $50 million. That's 481 yards, 3 touchdowns. Remember, they started out 0-2. Now they're 4-3 in the AFC. Okay? In the AFC. Passing yards are your new rings. No. He's got an AFC championship ring, too. So he's got records and rings. He did that in a year and a half in Bengal land. He's been playing and starting just as long as Jalen has almost, right? Let's see. His first year, he played half the season. Then this last year, he played all of it, took his team all the way to Los Angeles for the Super Bowl. And this year, he's now 4-3. Is that right? Dude, I still take Justin Herbert plays in a great conference and in a great division. The AFC West, there's actual quarterbacks in that division, Xander. Here's the division that Jalen plays in. Dak, Daniel Jones, and Tyler Heineke. And in the West, you have Mahomes, Herbert. I mean, look at the West. Carr. All those guys are top 10 passing guys. It's actually a division. Hurts is making it happen. He better make it happen. $45 million. Herbert lost to shit teams. Yeah, you take Jalen, you pay him $45 million for his 6 touchdowns, and I'll take Justin Herbert. I think he's got a shitty coach. Okay? I do. I know. No, I'll name you Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is the worst quarterback in that division. Can you imagine that? Russell Wilson is the worst quarterback in the AFC West. Cooper Rush. Keep hanging there. Jalen wins. So does Jimmy Garoppolo. Couldn't beat him last year either. Remember? Cowboys. beat the Lions 24-6. Tony Pollard, 12 carries, 83 yards. The Cowboys now 5-2. Dak Prescott's return. Titans beat the Colts. Jim Irsay comes parachuting in and tells Chris Ballard and Frank Reich that the Texas Longhorn kid's now going to be the starting quarterback the rest of the way out, and Matt Ryan's out. Matt Ryan, who they are eating $38 million this year in salary cap. Or no, excuse me. The Falcons are eating $38 million. Here's another flop of a quarterback decision, according to Jim Irsay in Indianapolis. It's going to cost Frank Reich his job, probably Chris Ballard too. They're still 3-3-1, but the Titans are now back to being in pretty good shape at 4-2. You know, I said that the A.J. Brown injury would affect that team. I don't know. They beat a team actually with a winning record, 3-3-1. So, I mean, the Titans are right back in the room again, and Derrick Henry looks pretty good. They're 4-2 on the season. Washington looked like a completely different team. They did. And they beat the Packers. I don't even think it's an upset anymore. 23-21. Heineke was 20 of 33, 201 and 2 touchdowns. Incredible. Okay. Jalen's best at winning. Winning what? What's he won? James, what's he won? What's he won? Has he won a division title? Or has he won your heart? Was he won a flower from you or your heart? What's he won? Actually, it's a great question. What's he won? He hasn't. What's he won? He's 6-0. That's what he's won? I don't have to say anymore. Okay? This ain't about me, James. It's about your boy. This ain't about me. What's he won? He's 6-0. I'll end my comment then. Hurts is 14-2 in the last game. Hey, Ryan, what's that won him? An early exit in the playoffs. And what's it won him? Don't be Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray doesn't deserve 40. I'd have let that guy walk. I'm not paying him $46 million. That ain't my guy, man. No way. No way. I'm not paying a guy who's not mature. That's mature money. You got to be an actual leader of your team. He's not. He's a loser. I'm not winning anything with Kyler Murray. I wouldn't pay that guy either. What's Herbert won? Nothing. He's putting up 10 times the numbers, though. And he's in a better conference. Who in the NFC do you guys look at that's having a good season outside of the Eagles? Let's take the Eagles out of the conversation. Here's a great example. Take the Eagles out of the conversation. Who do you think's good in the NFC? Who's a good team? One team that you think's good in the NFC. The Giants? Okay. Again, I don't really have to expand on my take. If you're going to tell me the Giants are the second best team and the Cowboys are the second best team with Cooper Rush before Dak took over, come on, dog. The Vikings. So the deal says the Vikings are the best. Okay. Again, I don't really have to say anymore if you're telling me the second best team in the NFC is the Vikings. The Seahawks. You guys are making my point. Yeah, James, unfortunately, Herbert's already got a W against your boy Jalen. So does Garoppolo, though. So does Derek Carr, actually. All got W's, baby. No doubt Xander's dead on. This is the real part here. And nothing on Jalen here. The NFL quality of play is so low, it's unbelievable. And especially, it favors the Eagles. That's not a slap. Who cares? That's the other team's responsibilities to be good, right? But honestly, outside of the Eagles, The entire conference is awful. Bucks suck. Packers suck. Rams suck. The Vikings, Cowboys, and Giants? Really? Right? Really? Terrible. I mean, who's the third? Okay, well, let's see about that. Okay, that's fair. That's a fair question about the AFC. Bills, Chiefs. Third best team, third best team in the NFC. I like that. NFL standings.
The Bills currently lead the AFC East.
I would probably say I'd go Bengals. Did make the Super Bowl and they're back on a winning way. Get this. Think about this. After starting 0-2, they're now 4-2. Or they're 4-1 since that 0-2 start. They're now 4-1 over the last 5 ball games. Okay? They're 4-1. So I will take them. They're playing the best. I would probably say the Titans at 4-2. Got to go Jets. Unbelievable. At 5-2. I'd say Ravens at 6. Chargers at 7 at 4-3. Dolphins at 8 at 4-3. Xander's right, man. Probably the Patriots at 9. But watch this in the NFC. Okay, at least these teams have winning records. Watch this. Here's the Eagles at 6-0. Okay? I like this exercise. The second best team in the NFC. The Vikings at 5-1. Who's the third best team? The Giants. Here's where you lose me. After the second team, the Giants aren't real. The Giants are the third best team versus the Bengals who went to the Super Bowl last year at 4-3. You actually think the Giants are better than the Bengals? You are high. You are high. Here, look at, and like I said, so the second best team in the NFC is the Vikings. The second best team in the AFC are the Chiefs. There's a little bit of a talent drop there. Who's the third best team in the NFC? This is going to get even more comical. The Cowboys? Okay. Let's say the Cowboys at 5-2. Okay. The Cowboys might be better than the Titans at 4. They might be. I don't know. They might be. I would say the Cowboys are probably better with Dak. Maniac, this isn't college football. You're as good as who you've been over the last 5 games. Say college football. Maniac would go like this. Well, the team that beat the undefeated Patriots, the Giants, hey, they were 10-6 going into the postseason, and they lost already. at the end of the year that year. Remember they played the last game? It was Giants and Patriots, and the Giants got beat. You would say this, well, they've already beat them. Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl and beat them. That philosophy doesn't work in the NFL. Okay, so we got 1, Eagles 1, Vikings 2, Giants 3, Cowboys 4. Who's the 5th best team in the NFC? The Seahawks? The Seahawks are the 5th best team. Xander's right. There's a ton of shitty football. There's a ton of shitty football, man. Dude, Tom Brady's right. Shitty football. Wow. Panthers, they beat the Bucks. By the way, did you watch that game? The Bucks got taken out. 21-3. Bucks are now 3-4. Dude, I don't even know who the starting quarterback in Carolina was, but I guarantee you Tom Brady did not cash in his marriage to lose to a dude that you don't remember. Holy cow, man. They were beat up, too. Carolina, they just traded Christian McCaffrey. Can you imagine? Carolina traded Christian McCaffrey. They fired their coach in consecutive weeks, and they upset the Bucks and beat them up. That is unbelievable. I mean, that game wasn't even really close. Giants beat the Jaguars 23-17. Look at that, man. There's one of your teams that you beat. The Giants beat them too. Then again, Daniel Jones did beat Jalen already. Beat him last year. How could Daniel Jones beat a $45 million guy and a 6-0 Jalen Hurts? So one of Jalen Hurts' losses last year was to Daniel Jones. Solid. Daniel Jones. You guys lost to Daniel Jones. Right? They beat the Browns 23-20. 4-3 now on the season. I thought the Ravens would be playing better ball last year, dude. Yeah, because that doesn't count on a guy's resume. We kind of erase it. He's a better player now, you know. I love it. It's still half the story, not the whole story. This is a new chapter, Sills. You know those old chapters where he wasn't really anything a year ago, 16 touchdowns or whatever the hell it was. Now we're like, so Jalen, how many games is Jalen Hurts? Let me see. From last year, he played 15 and he's got 6 now. In 21 football games, Jalen Hurts has 22 touchdowns. Great pace. I love it. I saw Joe Burrow throw for 3 TDs. Against the Falcons. Guy threw for 481. This guy has half as many touchdown passes as Jalen has all season long in one game. Unbelievable. The Jets beat the Broncos 16-9. 4-3 on the season are the, or 5-2, excuse me, are the New York Jets. No longer are they just the home of Fireman Ed. Let's see here. Raiders. They beat the Texans 38-20. Seahawks beat my Chargers 37-23. Chargers are now 4-3. They fall on the season. Check out Patrick Mahomes. Okay? Chiefs 44, 49ers 23. Mahomes 25-34, 423 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's a franchise quarterback you pay $50 million to. Okay? Not a guy with 2 touchdown passes. Dolphins, I'm very happy for Tagovailoa, man. I really am. I'm happy that he was able to stop the bleeding there in Miami. I love the old gear too, the 72 undefeated Dolphin gear. I thought that stuff was absolutely fantastic. 16-10, Pittsburgh falls to 2-5. Another world beater. You're playing coming out of the bye this Sunday, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who's quarterbacking? Oh, yeah, and I forgot the guy from Pitt. He kind of looks fairly decent. I don't know. Surely a lot of picks. What's his name? What's that guy's name? Wilson Pickett? Or, hey, no, it's Kenny I Throw Pickett's. Yeah, I told you. See it. Kenny I Throw Pickett's. Steelers are 2-5. That's who you, so let me get this right. You guys have played Cooper Rush and Kenny Pickett. Is it Pickett? Is it Kenny or Pickett? I don't know. So Cooper Rush and Kenny Pickett. Boy, you better have a lot of sex weekend. You better have it. It looks terrible. Lamar Jackson, 16 touchdowns last year. Yeah, he missed half the year. You may have forgotten that. He was injured last year. Gets smashed. Steelers beat Brady. I know, man. Cooper beat. Look at how you're tying it all in here, man. Look at how you're tying in here. Wilson Pickett. I told you the kid sucked. Xander's right, though. Dude, there is a ton of bad ball being played. And I think it's got a lot to do with the offensive line play. I really do. God's got me today. Let's take a timeout, Xander, see if we can fix the internet here again. I don't know what's going on here, man. Xander says it's the Cowboy. Hey, hit the like button. Keep it here on the National Show.
Go to get your game on. Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the stakes and the stakes. Go to get your parlay on. Go to get your party on. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean. Visit theoceanac.com to plan your visit.
Welcome to Pond Lee Hockey. We've helped over 100,000 injured and disabled workers obtain benefits, as well as some of the biggest settlements in the state. If you've been injured at work, give Pond Lee Hockey a call.
It's a fall car fest, and Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, says, yes, you can. Jeff says, yes, you can choose from over 1,000 vehicles in stock with no wait. Yes, you can still get low prices, leases, and big discounts. Yes, you can still get low interest financing. And Jeff always says, yes, you can have a real deal buying experience without the hassle. When the other dealers say, no, you can't, Jeff says, yes, you can. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown. Nobody treats you better. Jeep Adventure Days.
Let's go 200 JetX Sluggo.
Over the last 17 years, we've built a reputation of growing award-winning teams across the country. Staffing is not easy, but that's what we do every day, all day. The key to our success is storytelling, asking the right questions to find the right people. Hi, I'm Gary Kane, president of Kane Partners. We want to be your staffing partner.
Appreciate you coming aboard. Big Sales here on the National Football Show. Thank you guys so much for coming aboard. Maniac, you're not losing to the Steelers. You're not losing to the Steelers. Okay? You're not. you're not losing to Wilson Pickett. You're not losing that guy, man. Steelers are in a rebuild. And know it. Play the kid. See if the kid can play. You got to find out immediately if he can play. They got a great running back, in my opinion. Their O-line, their problem, their O-line. You're not losing to Sales break up on the rear on the schedule. You already did take GT, the top MVP talk. Yeah, man, I'm sorry about the connection, guys. I mean, I don't know. Enter says it's the helmet. So if it's the helmet will not be put back up. Okay, the helmet will not be put back up, okay? It's just not going to back up there. Okay? Xander's got it in bold print. Sills, it's the cowboy helmet. Toss the helmet. I will. Sorry, guys. Man, I know. God, we've had a pretty good run here over the last couple weeks, too. So, yeah, it's the helmet. Thank you, Nick. Steelers are in a rebuild, though, dude. They're doing it the right way. Play the kids just like they played Peyton Manning. When Peyton Manning was in his rookie year, he had 28 picks. You got to find out if the guy can play or not. You got to find out, man. I will not come on here all week if we end up losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I knew he was I'm not a Cowboy fan. Don't put that in words in my mouth. I never said I was a Cowboy fan. I've never uttered those words. Okay? In my life have I ever uttered those words. The Commanders, too. Dude, the Commanders look like a better football team right now. They really do. This kid, Tyler Heineke, man. You know, remember when Joe Theismann came on the program, and Joe Theismann even said it. Theismann said, don't go to sleep on Tyler Heineke. He could start a lot of places in the NFL. And he's right. He could start in a lot of places. And I'll tell you what, he just may have won that job. If I'm Ron Rivera and I'm coaching for my career and I'm coaching for my job in Washington, I'm not putting Carson Wentz back in there. I am absolutely not. I'm leaning Sills, a Charger fan. I'm not a Charger fan. I like Tom Telesco. We're friends. Bro, I'm an NFL fan. I'm an NFL. I grew up kind of a Giant fan because my uncle played there, but I don't really, and I played with his sons. I've never really rooted for one team. You know what I mean? I've never, I don't actively root for the Bucks, even though I played there and I'm an alumni guy with them. I don't sit around watching Buck games. I watch Brady games. I'm more of a fan. I'm more of a fan, Maniac, on really good players. Like, I watched Lawrence Taylor. I love watching Reggie. Like, when Reggie was on the Eagles, I watched the Eagles because of Jerome. Okay? So, yeah, I'm not really a fan of any team. I was a Yankee fan growing up, though. Yeah, that was never. So, defense, Sills. It's like you played for the Cowboys, Cowgirls or something. Yeah, so, man, this helmet didn't bring me very good luck today. So, let me ask you this. So you don't want it up, obviously. Okay? All right. Look at Xander. Xander's going to call me a you know what. Even though the owner, man, no. All right. I'll put it on the shelf where no one can see it. Score prediction versus Steelers, not till Friday. I do think the Patriots win tonight, and they beat that shitty Bears team. I do think they do that. Hey, get this. Did Brady or Belichick win the divorce? Burn it. It'd be better on Lawn Nation. You'd be better on Lawn. Hey, who won the divorce? Burn that shit. Camden. East Camden for Life says. Pats win 2016 tonight. Yeah, because that quarterback's not very good. Giselle won. Damn straight. Dude, you see she's back to modeling again? Freeze. Hey, thank you, Freezer. I appreciate it. Hey, man, I agree with Xander. I'm a very superstitious dude. Now that my internet went out a couple times today, that thing won't come. Hey, Xander, that thing won't come near my setup here. I will be moving that thing way over in the corner over there. I'm a very superstitious dude, man. Brady. Dick Brady did because he won the Super Bowl, right? Okay. Yeah, you think he won it? He won the Super Bowl. Tell you what, though, Patriots are a better team right now. Hey, Freezer, that thing, man, I'm very superstitious. Yeah. See? I gotta move the hell away now from the reception. Watch it come back here now. Yeah. Holy cow. Super Bowl trumps all. Sills, any idea what you're having for dinner tonight? No. Hopefully I've been a good guy and my wife cooks me something. It is back. The Cowboy curse. It's the Cowboy curse. Oh, God. Yeah, man, I got the Patriots winning tonight. And really, I think they're going to make a playoff push here. The connection is fuzzy. The Cowboy helmet. Xander's dead on, man. Okay? I kid you not. Hey, Maniac, I'm not kidding, man. That thing won't come my show tomorrow. You don't have to want that. I turned 51 today. Mike, congratulations to you, man. Happy birthday to you, brother. They marked that helmet. They're spying on us. Don't tell me that. Don't do that to me, man. Because now I'll be checking my cell phone. I'll be doing all that yet. I kid you not. Connection's fuzzy. Thank you. Really? Oh, Patriots 24-10. Hey, man, congratulations to the Phillies. I turned 97 on Wednesday. I feel 97. I feel 97. Right? Hey, folks, don't forget Kurt Schilling, 7 p.m. Eastern time. He was spectacular. Xander says I effed up the interview by putting the cowboy helmet up at the end. He's like, you screwed up the interview, dude. Dude, I've never seen Xander upset with me over anything except for that helmet when he saw it over my shoulder. Is there a market for Minshew? Absolutely. There's a market for any good backup quarterback. Pat's 31-9. J.C. Jackson wasn't doing anything anyways. Boy, Chris, can you believe what a colossal disaster that's been for the Chargers? He hasn't brought them anything. And by the way, I think Brandon Staley will be fired too. If that team doesn't make the postseason, that team will be fired. Well, guys, you won. I'm not hanging the helmet up. Will not be anywhere in sight ever again. You will never see that. Now that we've had a couple glitches, Xander's right. The Cowboys use you. Screwed my show up today. I appreciate you guys coming aboard. Merrill Reese will join us tomorrow as we get ready for Week 8 of the National Football League. And I can't wait to see what happens in the World Series. And I'll tell you this, I'm going with Curt Schilling. I got the Phillies winning the World Series in 7 games. I think they get to Verlander. If they get to Verlander in game 1, I think they can do it. Appreciate everybody. Please hit the like button. Don't forget, again, Curt Schilling will be 7 o'clock Eastern time on the JAKIB Media Sports channel. Go there and watch it. He was absolutely spectacular. Till tomorrow, 3 to 6 Eastern. Thank you guys so much for stepping in. We appreciate it. Thank you, Xander. We'll see